Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
When this offense has struggled in the past, the question's always, when did you learn to, I guess, tune out the noise and just move on?
Well, listen, that's the nature of our business. Even after you have really good games or really good performances, it's always on to the next opponent. There's always another challenge right around the corner. Week in and week out, you really have to put together your best efforts in order to win in this league. It's tough to win. You have to execute at a very high level. And listen, we're used to doing that. Obviously there's those moments, there's those games that you have where obviously it's not clicking, or for whatever reason, you walked away from it saying, we can be much better than that, and you just get back to work and you put together a game plan that everybody feels very confident with, and then you go into the next game, feeling like, man, we've done everything we can to put ourselves in the best position to succeed, and that's what we're going to do this week.
Next question's from Luke Johnson.
Drew, have you been able to put a finger on what is kind of missing in this connection between you and Emmanuel Sanders?
Well, honestly, I don't feel like there have been a ton of opportunities. We've called some down the field shots. Like, for example, we called 2 in that game that were designed to go to him down the field. Unfortunately, the coverage didn't really dictate that, didn't really allow that. There was a couple other opportunities that, for whatever reason, I didn't have the time to get it to him, or there was a breakdown elsewhere that didn't allow it. So that's happened a time or two. But man, I'm very confident in him and his ability and his role in this offense, and those opportunities will come.
Next question's from Mike Triplett.
Drew, you were really candid heading into the season about how getting back to the Super Bowl is what drives you, and how fairly or unfairly that's how quarterbacks are judged. Do you think you and Aaron Rodgers are maybe two of the greatest exhibits of how hard it is to actually get there, no matter how much talent you have?
I mean, maybe so. You know, we've each been to one, and we've each won one, right? So, and we've had probably some heartbreaking moments in the playoffs. You know, both teams. But you know, regardless, listen, you know, each season is a new season, and each team is a new team, and you're going to face your fair share of challenges. Obviously, they've had a ton of success, just like we have. Lots of playoffs appearances, lots of playoff wins. And again, you know, just those challenges that we've all faced in order to try to get to the ultimate prize.
Next question's from Fletcher Mackel.
Drew, is there maybe a fine line between the been there, done there with this team? Because you all have had, you know, last year at the Rams, the year before against Tampa Bay, you've had losses early and then you've rallied and kind of done very well after that. Knowing you can do it versus kind of just assuming you're going to do it, so to say? Is there kind of a needle you have to thread that you have confidence you can do it, but you can't just assume it's going to happen?
No, I mean, listen, you have to work at it. You absolutely have to work at it. And we've got some new faces. We've got some young guys in some you know, key areas. I'd say especially offensively. You know, obviously with the loss of Mike Thomas last week. You know, we're having to fit some guys into some new roles, get some guys some you know, significant playing time, maybe in different situations that they haven't been in before. And so I think there definitely is that element of just, man, getting everybody same page, everybody in sync. And, man, I'm confident with the guys that we have and with the system that we have and everything that we're going to be able to get back on track.
That's quarterback Drew Brees in the building, family, opening up the Sports Coma. Who that to the beautiful black and gold family members chiming in the live stream. Who that to you and yours on this Hump Day edition, also known as Wednesday Saints Talk with the Sports Coma. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all the beautiful black and gold family members chiming in the live stream on this one. And we're going to keep it going. Up next on the interview train, we got Coach Sean Payton chiming in with his thoughts as well. And we'll hit you with an extended version of Coach Payton's conference call this morning. Here we go.
All right. With your fine for not wearing the mask, how the league went, do you have any comment on that? And are you going to change maybe how you if you're going to wear the gaiter or do something different moving forward?
Yeah, look, I just got to do a better job when we're not on offense. You know, it's okay if you're pulling it down while you're calling plays, but what happens is I get caught up in the game and half the time forget that it's down, so I just got to be more diligent with it.
Yeah,
Sean, these first couple of games with the penalties. Look ahead.
You weren't the only one getting fined there. How tough is it to remember that, especially since it's not something that y'all are used to?
Well, look, it's something we're just going to have to remind ourselves to. Maybe you change the type of mask you're wearing because it's easier. I think if you have the gaiter on where you lose track that it's just around your neck. But look, like anything else, we'll find a way to be more diligent with it.
Sean, in the first couple of games with the penalties, have you seen that to be more technique issues or is it physical lapse?
Well, it's probably a combination of both, John. I mean, we've got to as coaches be better during the week. You know, when you get in games that are going to be close, there's too many yards there in penalties. Obviously, we're near the bottom of the league, and so that's the bad news. The good news is it's only 2 weeks in, and you know, it'll be a lot more concerning here going forward if it continues. So we've got to work harder at it, got to coach it better, and reduce those fouls.
Is that somewhat of an adjustment period, I guess, each season? Because I think it was last season it kind of started high and then it dropped off as players, I guess, adjust to the way it's being called.
Yeah, I think to some degree, and then also it can vary by crew. Some crews will have a higher rate maybe than others, and yet we really just got to work on better technique and a better job with our eyes, and not relying on some of the holding fouls or PI fouls that we're getting. Those are the ones that jump out unusually high.
Sean, have you been able to kind of put your finger on why Emmanuel Sanders just not very productive so far? Drew said that y'all were trying to dial some stuff up for him, but it just kind of wasn't there.
Yeah, look, we're 2 weeks in, so I see him being a big part of what we do offensively. We didn't have enough snaps the other night, unfortunately. That time of possession was a big factor in it, but his touches are going to come.
Sean, are some of the inaccurate passes in that we're seeing on offense, is that more of a result of like timing and chemistry and things like that than just, passes not being on the mark?
Yeah, look, I think we've got to be a little bit more detailed in all areas, and I'm talking receiver play, tight end play, running back play, when we're in the route tree, specific to our timing and what we're trying to get accomplished. And I think that's something that we saw on film, just the attention to detail relative to our spacing.
Packers defensively, they were in a bit of a shootout in week one last week, a little better, but how would you characterize what you've seen from them?
Well, it's a physical front inside. When you got a veteran like Kenny Clark that knows who's a strong player, is the Darius Smith who can wreak havoc in your passing game and your running game, not to mention the other guys that are playing inside. It's also a good group on the back end. The corners are outstanding players, as are the safeties. So it's a different structure than we just finished playing relative to more of an Okie style. 2 outside linebackers, 3 interior linemen. So we have to get that adjusted and understand the front, understand how the coverages are matching.
Sean, do you feel like Green Bay is somewhat of a kindred spirit, or sort of exhibits A and B on just how hard it is to get to a Super Bowl in the NFL? In the mix every year, but
look, they're a good football team, and obviously it's difficult to get to that final game. Anyone who's been in this league understands that, and yet they've got an outstanding quarterback. They put up fantastic numbers here in the first 2 weeks. Like every team in the off season, they've tinkered with some things, but they're playing real good football at a high level. They pressure you a little bit with their offense, and they've gotten in both the first 2 games this season ahead, and it became a one-dimensional game to some extent for both Detroit and Minnesota.
Does Aaron Jones do some of the things? Is he kind of like similar to Alvin for their offense? Like if he ever?
Yeah, look, we're going to see a lot of good backs here during this stretch, but he's one of them. He's explosive with the ball in his hands. He's got great vision and balance, and certainly a key figure in what they're doing offensively.
Hey, Sean, just having spent some time in Illinois, did you have any interactions with Gail Stairs at all, or even as a kid, just kind of remember him much?
I remember him vaguely, mostly highlights. You hear stories, you see video, and, he was so explosive and dynamic. He didn't have the years relative to a long career, but, man, it was special. I think the first exposure, all of us, early on, if you followed football, was Brian Song, the movie, and seeing that interaction with he and Brian Piccolo. That was my first memory of the player, and that was an all-time movie.
Coach Sean Payton, man, talking about the late, great Gail Stairs, who passed away at the age of 77. That's right. Gail Stairs passed away, the Hall of Famer. Gail Stairs passed away at 77. Went into the Hall of Fame in 1977. At the age of 34, 3 plus 4 is 7. A lot of sevens there, I'm just saying. I pay attention to the numbers. Anyway, let's get into it, man, on this edition to the Sports Coma. So I thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for chiming in on this edition of the Sports Coma. And like I customarily say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk for your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and this is the Great Saint Think Tank, also known as the Sports Coma, where the best of the Black and Gold Nation will reside, baby, here in the building. So once again, happy Wednesday, or happy hump day to all the family members in the live stream in the building on this one here. Thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for making me a part of y'all Wednesday afternoon. I appreciate you guys for being here. In this edition, we'll cover some news items. We'll cover the Wednesday injury report. Of course, the Saints did not practice according to the information that we have, but they did release an injury report, and we will cover that injury report after playing several interviews, and that'll be all we have for the interviews. After I finish covering these articles, I will then open up the phone line and allow the family members to chime in on this Wednesday edition, and I will be with you guys up until about 9:30, maybe 9 o'clock. We'll see, up until about 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit after. As tonight is Wednesday night, it's also Ring Kings boxing. So if you're a fight fan, you're a fan of the fight game, feel free to join us on our Ring Kings Boxing World channel. The link is in the description section below. Or simply go to the search box and put Ring Kings Boxing World in and subscribe. So big ups to the rest of the family members in the live stream on this one, as I give the family a shout out, as I customarily and traditionally do. Brother Jerry, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat. Lee Wood, good to see your family. Big ups to you. Tara, who that to Tara, chiming in the building as well. She says, poor Brees. Did anyone see his video? It looks like he's so tired and worn. I never seen him look like that before. Hashtag concerning. The shoulders, man, I tell you what, the pressure of leadership weigh heavily. That is an old saying that's often said. When for you to don the crown, it comes with a lot of pressure, and or simply, like some of the rappers would say, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. And Drew Brees, sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's not. Thank you for that, Tyra. Big ups to you. Big ups to GM Kev in the building as well. Good to see you in the live stream. Tori Shepard Sr., what up, Tori? Who that to you? Last Saint, who that to you? Brother Jamal, who that to you? Wayne Bradley, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat, Wayne. Who that to you? Lewis, good to see you in the chat as well. Gundam, who that to you, brother? Good to see you. Brandon Davis, what up, Brandon? Good to see you in the chat, fam. He says Las Vegas had to cover that spread. Everybody just gave up for real. Thank you, Brandon. Who that for you? Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Brother Tramal, once again. GM Kev says, I got a notification on Q. Well, Big Q can't wait to sit back, drink cold, and listen. Yeah, there's a new On Q with Big Q that was released at around 5 o'clock, I want to say. About 5 or so. They finally got it out there. Who that to you? Jeremiah Smith, who that to you? Big ups to you and Yearns on this one as well. Brandon Cormier, who that to you, fam? He says, all we talk is who that, huh? All right, that we talking about. All right, who else we got there? Brian Pearson, who that to you, Brian? Good to see you in the chat. Gohan with Down syndrome, who that to you? Says, no matter what, Drew still the best of this ending era of QBs. Thank you, Gohan. Who that to you, buddy? All right, Iceman in the building. He says, the man missed me with the coverage nonsense. A lot of people still upset about Sean Payton. And he can't even keep his face covering on. So, can I anticipate him sticking to the running game? Discipline. Discipline, man. You need discipline to stick to anything in life. You got to have discipline. You got to have discipline to get up every morning and put your shoes on and handle business for you and your family. Or if it's no family, just you. It's discipline. Takes discipline to stay on code. And Sean Payton has to learn that. All right. Who that to you? Jeremiah, good to see you. Says Big Q, who that to you? Thank Taysom to play week 1, Winston the second week, then Drew the third week. I don't think so, my friend. I think they're going to ride with Drew. And you'll see Taysom throw the ball as well. And the only time you're probably going to see Jameis this year is if there's an injury of some sort. Hopefully there won't be. Or we're blowing the team out. He'll get an opportunity to come in for some garbage time minutes. Or if they run a 3-quarterback play like they did last year when they put all 3 of the quarterbacks on the field at the same time. I'm pretty sure that's the only way you're going to see them today, this year. Thank you for the question, Jeremiah. Big ups to you. Who that Nation for life. Good to see your family in the chat as well. Big ups to you. All right, let's see who else we got there. Neville. What up, Neville? Who that to you? Troy Thompson. Who that to you? Troy, good to see you. Crass. Good to see you in the chat as well, fam. Who that to you as well? Brother Dada. Who that to you? Dada. Big ups to you as well. Ferg 318. Who that to you? Nola Boy 9. What up, fam? Good to see you in the chat, Nola Boy. Big ups to you, fam. Shedrick. Who that to my dog? Shedrick in the building. John Thompson once again. Who that to your family as well? Sufayan. What up, Sufayan? Good to see you in the chat, family. Donovan, who that to you as well. Please hit the like button, family, upon entering the live stream. Please smack upon the like button as we get going. Fred Savage, who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat as well. And if I didn't give you a who that, give me a who that, and I give you a who that back. And please hit the like button upon entering the chat. So big ups to the family member as well. Brother Donovan Grayson, once again, big ups to you. Big ups. All right, family, give me a second and I'll share my screen with the family members. And we'll get through a few of these items. I just have a few items, and then after that, I'm opening up the phone line and allow the family members. Darrell Freeman, who that to you? Darrell, I see your family. Who that? And just give me a second. I'll share my screen with you guys, and we'll get right into these articles. All right, first up and foremost, the Saints injury report. We'll cover this, the Wednesday edition. And hit that, and like I said, hit the like button, family. Thank y'all for being here. All right, on the injury report here, 6 New Orleans Saints players listed on Wednesday injury report for week number 3 against the Packers. Note, the Saints did not practice on Wednesday, September the 23rd. The below is an estimation of their practice status. It's released by the team, of course, so it's going to be pretty accurate. All right, Marcus Davenport at the top of the list with the elbow, DNP'd. Mike, of course, we know Mike is DNP. Chase Hansen DNP'd as well. Trey Hendrickson has a groin issue. So does Teron Armstead. Both of those are listed as limited, and Malcolm Brown's dealing with a foot issue. So some of the regular cast of characters show up on the injury list. When they practice tomorrow, we'll see how really interesting it is, because the Saints were off Tuesday, and of course they didn't play Wednesday. They did film studying for Sean Payton, according to what he was saying on one of the articles. I'm going to cover that one coming up soon. And looking at Green Bay, what the Green Bay Packers are like. Their top threat, Devontae Adams, dealing with hamstring issues. He didn't practice Wednesday. Kenny Clark, their best interior lineman, did not practice as well with a groin issue. Montravius Adams, defensive ends, limited. Their tight end, Degura, is limited as well. Randy Ramsey, a linebacker, is also limited. And Jair Alexander, who's a pretty damn good cornerback, had a hand issue, but he's fine. Corey Lindsey, the center, and Billy Turner, the offensive tackle, is fully practiced, FP'd. So everybody looking good on their injury list. Very, even though the Saints did release this injury report, there are several questions on this injury report that I'm really want to know. Davenport, what does he look like on there? Trey Hendrickson, we're going to see with Trey Hendrickson. Like I said, the usual cast of characters popping up on the injury report. And I'm saying Davenport, Hendrickson, and Armstead. Those guys have been dealing with injuries for the summation of their career in New Orleans. So let's move on to the next article. Better yet, let's do this article first with Sean Payton here. Saints apparently decided to postpone it, and I covered a little bit of this on TSC Q&A this morning. We'll cover it here now. The Saints apparently decided to postpone their flight from Vegas after ugly loss to Raiders. Saints joined a popular club this week. They had a rough night in Vegas that led to a delayed flight. Payton was pissed. And you can see right here, he's scratching his head. and really just, don't look so baffled or confused. Run the damn ball, why don't you? If you ever had a rough night in Vegas, then you know how the New Orleans Saints fell this week. This week after the team's ugly 34-24 loss to the Raiders on Monday night, showing Payton was so frustrated with everyone that he decided to postpone the team's flight out of Sin City so they can hold an impromptu film session. I hope he studied his own film too, and as well, because you got to hold yourself accountable, man. You need to run the ball more. According to the Atlantic, the Saints were scheduled to leave Vegas at 10 a.m. Tuesday, but that ended up getting pushed back more than 3 hours after Payton decided the team needed to go over the loss as soon as possible. When all was said and done, the Saints' flight from Vegas didn't take off until about 1:16 p.m. They got back to New Orleans at 6:01. And now let's be honest, this isn't the first time the flight has been postponed due to a rough night in Vegas. It certainly won't be the last. The Vegas airport is surely built upon the change fees that hungover people pay to change the departure flights. Till a later time, the good news for Saints is they had a charter flight, so it didn't cost them much to move their departure time. Due to the delay, Payton also decided to skip his weekly radio show appearance so that he can start game planning for the Packers, who the Saints will be playing in Week 3. The fact that Payton decided to make everyone sit through a surprise film session shouldn't have come as a huge shock, and that's because he didn't really try to hide his frustration after the team's 10-point loss. Following the game, Payton said his offense played average at best over the first 2 weeks of the season. The last 2 weeks, I think, it's been average at best offensively. Payton said via Las Vegas Journal, "We're not functioning well enough and taking advantage of some of the opportunities we had." Not only did Drew Brees echo Payton's comment, but he also admitted that the offense didn't seem to be on the same page yet. Quote, are we totally, and let me read that, getting that in quotes. Are we totally in sync right now? No, we're not, Brees said via New Orleans Times-Picayune. We're not even close to what we are capable of, not even close. It was an ugly game for the Saints offense. A big reason for that is because Brees struggles. The Saints quarterback completed just 18 pass attempts in the first half while throwing an ugly interception. Although Brees was slightly better in the second half, the fact of the matter is that he got outplayed by Carr. If the Saints are going to win on Saturday, they're going to need to turn things around, and they're going to need to do it quickly because they'll be hosting the Packers offense that scored more points than anybody or any other team in the NFL. This is normal. Normally, the Saints don't have any problems keeping up in the shootout, but with Thomas on the sidelines, this year's team has yet proven it has the firepower to keep up. This is obviously written by somebody who don't know nothing about the Saints. Who is this guy? John Breach? Yeah, this guy must really don't write too much about the Saints because all he talked about in this article was Drew Brees. He didn't recognize that the defense stunk. He just put it on Drew Brees and said Carr outplayed Drew. You look at Drew's statistics, Drew had more yardage than this man. The only thing Carr could say he did, he had 2 more completions and he had 2 more touchdowns than Drew. And of course, he had no interceptions because our defense was pathetic. All right, let's keep it. We're moving into the next and the final topic, what I want to talk about with the family, and that's snap counts. Let's look at the wide receivers' general snap counts. I always like to look at the snap count report. It just helps out to gain a overall good look of who played and why they played and whatnot. Hey, 19642, who that to your family? Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to you. Let's see, William Dickerson, who that to your family? Wendell Leslie, who that to you? Purple Knight, who that to you? Good to see the family members chiming in the live stream. Who that to you and yours? Thank y'all for y'all support. Please strike the like button, family. If you hadn't hit the like button yet, please feel free to strike the like button for me. And also it helps out the stream greatly. Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to come to the chat momentarily, family, as soon as I finish hitting y'all, getting these news articles out the way. All right, let's look at it. The Saints snap counts are in from Monday's loss to the Raiders, and a few things jump off the page. Just look at the wide receivers and the defense in general, plus the weekly snap count tracker for the Saints rookie class. All right, wide receiver Tre'Quan Smith had 53 snaps. That's good for 88%. Emmanuel Sanders had 47 of them things for 78%. Deontay Harris had 31 snaps from the wide receiver position, 52%. Taysom, get this, had 14 snaps for 23%. Why was Taysom so noticeably absent? And of course, we've seen him in the special teams as well. But 14 reps from Taysom is quite troublesome, man. You definitely need his offensive explosion in this matchup. We're seeing him only get 14 snaps according to this report. You can see it right there. I got it highlighted. Marquez Callaway, 13 snaps for 22%, and Benny Fowler had 4 snaps. Traquan Smith essentially took over for Mike Thomas' role, playing 88% on the Saints offensive snap for the contest. Thomas played 81% of the Saints offensive snap last week against the Buccaneers. He missed a few of the team's final plays. I got to give Traquan Smith credit. He looked good in this game. He wasn't perfect, but he made the catches, and he played well. You know, he played with some heart in there. Emmanuel Sanders was on the field a lot Monday, being used on 47 offensive snaps for 78% of the Saints offense, which was a major jump from 49% last week, but he didn't bring nearly as much to the table as Smith and Kamara as far as production is concerned. Matter of fact, 1 catch for, I believe, 18 yards. Quarterback Drew Brees targeted Sanders once on the first drive of the game, falling incomplete, and then once again on the next drive, also incomplete, but then despite being on the field a lot, he disappeared. Brees didn't throw his way again until the last drive of the game, bringing an 18-yard reception in garbage time. Sanders had a tackle on Brees' interception and was flagged for a blindside block in the third quarter to push the Saints back to a third and staggering 31. Deontay Harris was on for 31 snaps, 52% of the Saints' offensive plays, and he was the third most productive playmaker for the Saints, logging 11 yards, rushing on 1 carry and bringing in 3 passes on 5 targets for 23 yards. Harris' offensive snap counts were the highest he's had by far before Monday's game. Harris's highest usage in the game was last season for the Tennessee Titans. Here's some defensive stuff. The Saints didn't use their base 4-3 defense once Monday, remaining in sub-package for the entire game, as the starting strong linebacker Caden Ellis didn't log a single defensive snap. The Saints mostly used nickel, with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson playing 69% of the defensive snaps. They used defensive back P.J. Williams in the same dime packages, logging 29 snaps for 36%. The Saints defensive line continued to rotate its players around, with the exception of Cam Jordan, who played 72% of his 80 snaps, and the other defensive lineman tackled David Onyemata 51 snaps. Trey Henderson had 46. Sheldon Rankins had 43. Marcus Hunt had 38. Malcolm Brown had 34. Granderson had 32. Malcolm Roach had 29. Saints didn't rotate nearly that much up front last week, with Jordan Rankins, Onyemata, and Henderson logged more than 40% of the team's snaps. Marcus Hunt was one of 2 players the Saints elevated from the practice squad this week, and last week was on the field defense much more than he was last week. Some of this can be attributed to the packages too. For example, the Saints used the NASCAR package a bit. That's when there are 3 defensive ends on the field rather than 2. That usually comes on the third down. Rookie watches. Undrafted defensive tackle Malcolm Jenkins was among the most productive of the new guys. Roach had 36% of his defensive snaps, logging action on 29 plays. He had 4 total tackles, 2 of which were unassisted and 1 tackle for a loss. Rookie tight end Adam Troutman caught his first NFL pass, reeling one in from Drew for 17 yards. Troutman was in on 8 offensive snaps, old Troutman, and had 8 special team snaps as well. Rookie offensive lineman Cesar Ruiz made his NFL debut on Monday, serving as an injury replacement for Nick Easton. He had 5 snaps, and Andrews Pete 1 snap. He also had snaps on special teams. So he filled in for Nick Easton for 5. So he had all but 6 snaps in the game for Cesar Ruiz. I thought this guy was supposed to start. What the hell happened? Where they kept Nick Easton in there, and simply he couldn't have done worse than what Nick Easton did on that side. He couldn't have done worse than that. But all of a sudden they say, no, you're gonna sit down, after saying that he was gonna start. So we'll monitor this. Linebacker Zach Bourne was also a healthy scratch. Last week played 13 snaps on special teams. No snaps for Zach Bourne in this one as well. Undrafted rookie Marquez Callaway had 13 snaps in his NFL debut. He was also healthy and active in week 1. Lanyap news: Drew Brees was in every offensive snap, something he did twice this season. The last time during the regular season where Brees was on the field, 100% of the snaps was against Atlanta in last week's week 10 loss to the Falcons. Malcolm Jenkins continued to be Iron Man streak. He has now played in every defensive snap for his teams, first Philly, now New Orleans, for 40 straight games beginning in 2017 playoffs. So really interesting that Drew played all of the snaps. Interesting. And then Taysom Hill's snap production was really down as well. And the Saints are not getting anything from these young guys outside of Cesar Ruiz, a first-round draft pick. 6 snaps. not good enough to even push Nick Easton out of the way, and he's a first-round draft pick, 24th overall by the Saints this year. You know, what's up with that? We will get more answers as time comes because, you know, time reveals all truth. It's only a matter of time, I always say. It's always a matter of time. But most concerning is the Cesar Ruiz thing. I keep looking at it, I'm saying if the Saints are going to need help from there, if you're not going to go out and find guys that's out on the free agency wire or veterans that can come in and help you, a.k.a., I guess, Cameron Wake, Clay Matthews. Can't say Tremaine Johnson because Carolina picked Tremaine Johnson up. So if you were to even go out and find someone to help you, you're not going to do that. You got to rely on what you have. Well, guess what? 2 of our former first-round draft picks aren't really giving us nothing right now. One of them is healthy, but they're not, for whatever reasons, not playing him. He's not listed on any injury list with an ankle situation, so we can't use that. But 6 snaps in the game in the Monday night affair. That makes no sense. We don't draft him to sit. We don't draft him so he'll sit down. You know, what was that Payton said when he drafted Cesar Ruiz? Well, when we draft him, he will play. Yeah. Well, he's healthy. He's not playing. You know, he's you can't, you know, that brings a lot of questions. The pressure, you put the first round grade on this kid, you got to play him. We'll see, man. We need help on the offensive line, especially how our interior linemen looked this past game against the Raiders, man. We interiorly stunk in that matchup. But you can help out the running game by running the football, giving them a fullback and using 3 tight end sets like the Raiders did your tail. 3 multiple tight end packages. And just beat you across the head with the running game with a back that runs angrily downhill. And even the toughest defense will weaken to the pressure. It's only so much you can take. You just got to pull the pressure on and stay disciplined. Raiders were able to do it. Saints wasn't. Pelicans Nola, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to you, brother Byron. I see you. Trey Joseph, who that to you as well, family. Thank y'all for joining us in the live stream today. Please hit the like button. Brother Tragic, 504 chiming in from the DWF. Who that, baby? I see you. Big ups to you in the chat. All right, family. I'm gonna come back to your question, concerns, and comments momentarily. I'm gonna open up the phone lines first because I think I really want to do that first. We're gonna open up the phone lines and allow some of the family members to chime in so they can voice their concerns on the game. So just give me a second. We're gonna open up the phone lines here and allow the family members to chime in. So I'm simply activating the lines right now. So the family members can chime in and get their thoughts. All right, family, the live lines are activated. 504-475-4482. 504-475-4482. You can feel free to jump on with me and voice your concerns, question, concerns, or comments. Feel free to contact. You can call up right now. Live lines are open. 504-475-4482 on this edition of TSC Wednesday Saints Talk. Saints News and Notes. We got you playing the Saints with interviews by Coach Payton and Drew Brees. You know, we also went over some articles on the injury report. Of course, the Saints did not play today, so that's 2 days straight with no practice. Usually we know Tuesday's no practice. The Saints opted to not practice 2 days back to back. That's not unheard of, but if I gave you a break Tuesday, then we working Wednesday, especially how we look. That means we got to get it together Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And let's hope we make it right. We're a veteran team. We should know how to fix this stuff. And I definitely anticipate a better outing from the team in week 3 because historically speaking, that's how it is. It usually takes 3 to 4 weeks before you see this team really step up and do some stuff. So let's just remember that and be patient with them and not throw Drew Brees under the bus. Please, let's not throw Drew Brees under the bus. All right, hold on here, family. All right, fam, thank you for calling the Sports Coma. Who's on the line?
It's Byron, man. What's going on, Q?
What's going on, brother Byron? How you feeling, brother?
Okay. I feel okay, but disappointing, though. disappointed, man. Disappointed about the game the other night.
Yeah, I'm feeling you on that, brother Byron. We was all the same way, man. I think, that's a game we should have won, and we didn't. But yeah, let me tell you something. We got to iron it out, man. We got to take the wrinkles out of this shirt and keep it going. That's all I can say about it. You got to iron the wrinkles out, brother.
Yeah, we got to take all the wrinkle from the pants and the shirt and everything out of it, bro. That game was filthy, ugly, bro. I mean, it was so terrible when I saw that game. I was like, oh man. It sucks. It sucks though, bro. It sucks. It really do, because that game was really, really, really awful, man. I mean, we had most penalties, missing tackles. Like I said, I feel bad about the game that played out, though, man. We ran good in the running game, though. We got early in the game in the first quarter. The defense dominated that first half, but the second half, they were looking out of zinc. Cam Jordan mentioned about it in the post game that we had gave up trumpet yards. Drew Brees was not so like then in the first game. Drew Brees looked like he was out of sync again. Turned the ball over, missed wide open pass on Jared Cook, Josh Hill, Deontay Harris.
Hello.
I mean, hold on just a second, brother Byron. We got another family member on the line. What's going on, fam? Thank you for calling Sports Coma. Who's on the line?
Hey, this is a long time listener, Gundam. I'll stand by.
Gundam, what's up, fam? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
All good, brother. Appreciate your call, bro. Just give me a second. I got brother Byron right ahead of you. As soon as brother Byron get done, I'll slide you right on in there, my brother.
All right, brother.
Thank you. All right, brother Byron, go ahead. I apologize for that.
Yeah, no, it's all good, bro. I mean, I was just saying, bro. I'm just really, sad about that game. I was really pissed off about, how that game played out. I mean, everybody was not surprised, how the game was going, since it started. But I said we had the thing going, though. We should have came out and won that game. But I said too many penalties and everything. It was a bad call. It was an ugly game between the referees and on the first drive, I said we had scored the touchdown. They took a touchdown away from them because they said it was a legal formation. And I didn't see our guy had moved off the line. And I thought it was on the Raiders side, but they said it was on us. And Sean Payton was on the sideline and said, okay, I thought it was on the Raiders, but they said it was on us. So I said, I didn't see our guy move when they said it was a legal formation. And we had to kick the field goal. They took the field goal off the point, and we scored 11 points instead. But they took that point away, and then we had to kick a field goal. So I said, oh, man, you got to be kidding me. So I said, I never imagined that the referee said that we had a legal formation. I ain't see no guy on our offense had moved before we had snapped the ball. And I know you probably saw it, Q, or the rest of our Saints fans probably see it, but I saw it, and I said the guy did not move off our line. Yeah, I thought it was on the Raiders, because the Raiders had went offside, but it said it was a Saint. So I said, okay, they took the point away from us when Kamara had scored a 2-point conversion, and I said, oh man, this is some bullshit. So I say, this is how these refs, I say, that's how the referees do, bro. I can't stand how these officials don't give us the calls that we know we're not going to feel satisfied, that I think it protected the referee not doing a great job in that game we had the other night. And I was really so not the good mood like I wanted, though, but the referee had screwed us on purpose. And I think that's not fair with how the referees played the way how they played, because they gave that game to the Raiders, though, on purpose. And I think I'm not going to feel like I'm shame of it, but I'm really, really tipped off about that, though. I'm really, and then in the fourth quarter, Q, on third down, they said it was a pass interference on Jay Rabbit. And I think the guy was going on Jay Rabbit on that play, and they called a pass interference on that part. So I was like, okay, I don't understand that part right there. Because the man was holding on Jay Rabbit, though. And I'm looking on the same angle, and you probably saw the same too, Q, but I'm saying is that shouldn't have been a pass interference on us also. It should have been on the Raiders, though. So it was too many bad calls we had in that game, though.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There were a lot of miscues on the Saints side of it, no doubt about it. It was a real sloppy affair. Like I said, when we covered
It sure was.
when we covered it, we went over it several shows.
Mhm.
We did the keys of victory, and I asked the family members in the TSC virtual tailgate, what was the keys to victory. And a lot of the family members literally agreed that we couldn't turn the ball over. We had to run the ball, and we had to stop their run, and we had to neutralize their number one passing threat, which I constantly repetitive for those who didn't know who Waller was. I made a point to point out that Darren Waller was a weapon for him. I kept using the words like neutralize. You have to stop this kid because he's special. And they didn't. They allowed him to have double-digit catches. He was able to keep drives alive, and so did Josh Jacobs. Even though the Saints held Josh Jacobs under 90 yards rushing and no touchdowns, he was still able to get first downs to procure first downs to keep drives alive for the Raiders. And so far as they were able to pull off 12 to 13 minutes away from you, and just listen. Anytime you have a team that has double-digit more minutes than you in the time and time possession, that you're not going to win many games like that. I mean, the Saints just didn't have enough time to come back, and they needed to make every possession count, and they simply could not muster up enough offense to do that. The offense stalled in the third. There was mismanagement with the timeouts, starting when Payton called the timeout, and with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. There was a irresponsible challenge that he tried to do, which was a bad challenge. I knew he was not going to get that, which he lost the timeout there, and he had one left, which I said this is not a good omen because I knew the Saints would have to make everything count. The defense did force a turnover late. The Saints offense couldn't capitalize off it and swing the momentum in their favor. And ultimately, they just died on the field once Jalen Richard was able to bust through after a worn-out defense couldn't get to him. He was able to get to the touchdown and bust it open. When that happened, that pretty much knocked the win out of the Saints on the drive. And it wasn't a pretty affair, man. It wasn't a good team effort. And it just wasn't. Latavius Murray, even though Kamara had 13 carries in the game for 79 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, people will say, well, QB ran the ball. That's not what I mean. Most of the runs that Kamara was doing came out of pass first plays that ultimately turned into the run. Protection back there, but then they would change the play for him to hit like what I call an option, like a option or perhaps a dive play up the center of a defense that they're playing with 3 wide receiver sets, and they spread them out, and then they hit them with the dive or the option run up the center of the offensive line. So, I mean, they did that, but what I wanted them to do was kind of use more of Latavius Murray, who had 15 carries the first game, but 3 carries this game for, I believe, 17 yards. But the thing, that's not really big stats if you use that as a barometer of why they fail, but also think about the yards per carry that Latavius Murray had, which was 4.7 yards per carry with those 3 rushing yards. And I say all that to say this. Had you continued to give Latavius Murray the ball against his former team, he could have bruised the team and could have punched and controlled the clock and could have really created a momentum where the Saints could have then seen these young safeties start to creep closer to the line to provide run support, and then you could have went up top of them. As opposed to them ultimately rushing 4 and dropping everybody in the coverage, there was nowhere to go with the ball except underneath. And once that happened, that was a wrap. So, I mean, once again, Sean Payton's upset, and he should be upset, but the first person he should be upset is with the man in the mirror, Michael Jackson. That's the bottom line. He has to go look in the mirror because he's the problem. He continuously tried to turn back into his old self, but trying to do the same stuff he was doing last year, and you can't do that with this offense yet. You got to run the football and build your passing offense on the back of the running attack. So that's one of the things we have to look at. Now the positives, that's the negatives. The positives are this is only week 2. Saints still on top of the NFC South. And do they get it right? Hell yeah, they get it right. We've seen this movie before.
Yeah, right.
I've seen this movie before. I've seen it for the last several years. That I've seen the Saints struggle in the first 2 to 3 weeks, and between 3 to 4 weeks, they finally found a rhythm. But notice that most people, the media will write pictures. The Saints offense is not a Super Bowl offense, and they know it's week 2. Who has a goddamn Super Bowl offense right now? Not to perhaps Kansas City. And Kansas City didn't look that good against the Chargers. So nobody
they sure didn't.
Say they got a Super Bowl goddamn offense in week 2. I mean, come on, man. It's just people. It's really ridiculous, man. How we have to rationalize this thing. We don't buy into the propaganda, man, because most of the propaganda coming from outlets that are not Saints related outlets. They don't like the Saints, and any news that come out about the Saints is going to be negative. They're not your friends. So that's why I keep busting their ass every chance I get when I'm breaking down and telling people that it's a misinformation campaign about Drew Brees and the Saints not being able to throw the ball down the field, despite the fact that the dumbass supposed to be sport reporters or the pros that's talking about the Saints can't throw the ball down the field behind them while they're telling you that they can't throw the ball on the field. They have their little graphics department got the highlight reel running behind their right or left shoulder, which is showing the Saints ironically throwing the ball down the field. Seeing Drew Brees lunch the ball down the field. We covered this on TSC Q&A on Patreon when I showed clips of Drew Brees throwing the ball down the field. 20, 30, 35 yards. Dispelled the myth that he was throwing the ball down the field. Also dispelled the goddamn myth that that his arm is weak and he can't throw the ball. When you have how tall is Latavius Murray? He's 6 foot, not Latavius. Jared Cook. Jared Cook is 6'7".
About 6'7".
He's 6'7", and Drew Brees overthrew him, and he jumped up with
overthrew it, man.
And that
overthrew it. He was wide open.
But that was 30 plus yards out. He overthrew Jared Cook. Now the issue is not his arm, it's the accuracy. That's what I'm saying. His accuracy is not right now. Is that a surprise? It's not a surprise because that's the same stuff you've seen in week 1 or week 2 in the last several years until they get on sync. They will catch fire. This is what they're gonna do, man. But go ahead, brother Byron. I'm gonna let you get the last point. We're gonna bring in.
That's why. That's my point right there, though, Q. It's the accuracy. The accuracy that he overthrew Jared Cook. Okay, Jared Cook, I say he's 6'7". He could get towards that ball, but you put over his head, though, bro. That's why I said. And then he missed Josh Hill on a slant on the side of him. That's what I said. Drew Brees never missed these wide open pass, though, bro. He put the ball so our guys would get towards on their hands, though. He missed Deontay Harris, though. Deontay Harris wide open in the middle of the field. And then we throw it right towards the defender.
Right.
6.
Well,
what I said, bro.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right, but that's what you're right. He throwing it. But see, the issue is the fact that it's accuracy. So it's not so much him having the ability he can't push the ball down the field. It's the fact that he having accuracy issues. It's not and that's to be expected when you're a team that is appreciate you, Kevin, with your super chat, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Okay, they said we had a mic. Okay, we had a mic issue is back. Okay, something must have happened. I don't know. But they're saying it's okay, good. All right, but this the reality is what I'm saying. Sorry about that, fam. I don't know what happened with that mic, but y'all, if y'all can hear me, put the 1 in the chat if you can hear me now, family. Put the 1 in the chat if you can hear me. All right, thank you, Hold'em Hook'em TV. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me now, family. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can all hear me fine now. All right.
But back where my point is that, though, Q, I think to me, like I said, it's an issue with his accuracy, though, because I said Drew Brees said he's still great and everything, but I don't think he is, though, because I said you had 2 back-to-back state games, though, bro. And I think to me, I know that you can throw that ball, but you can't push the ball much more down the field like you think you can, though. But I think it's the accuracy that's really concern for me, though, because I think Drew Brees got to understand this, though, bro. You miss wide open pass, though, bro, from 3 guys. And I think you had a chance to get these guys towards the ball, but like I said, you missed incompletion, though. That's what I'm really having concern with Drew Brees right now, though, bro. And I know this, like I said, Drew Brees, you got the arm, though, but you don't have that arm as a grip, though. I think that you didn't realize this, though, bro. You know you can push the ball, but you don't put that ball towards the angle or anywhere down the field like you used to do. It's going to be a different situation for Drew Brees, but I'm saying he got to be better, though, bro. But when you turn that ball over at the half, I say, okay, that's a bad idea, Drew Brees. You should have no business did that, though. So I think he need to get himself correct, though. And I think he need to be more wise, though, and more mature to be more as a quarterback that he is, though. But the reality is that he got to play at a better game at the highest level.
Yep, that's absolutely the case. No doubt about it. Drew Brees, he definitely going to have to step his game up. But that's what Drew does. I mean, that's what he do. That's what he going to do. I mean, he going to fix the problem. And that's what I'm saying about the myths. We dispelled the myths about him not being able to throw the ball down the field. The myths that the Saints are not throwing the ball down the field. When we played on TSC Q&A Live last Tuesday, we covered film showing the Saints throwing the ball downfield all the time. The issue was the accuracy issues, and Drew was even fitting the ball in tight windows, finding Traquan Smith, finding Adam Troutman, finding Elvin Kamara. You know, he was moving the ball around, but then the offense stalled, and it did that last week. The week before last against Tampa, it stalled in the same time frame right around the third quarter, which is why you need to bring the running game. We need the running game there. And like I said, Latavius Murray averaged, even though he had 3 carries last week, he averaged 4.7 yards with those 3 carries. That's almost 5. That's a half a first down that you need. You run them twice, you get a first down. So I mean, we have to be able to be smarter than that, and we have to execute. And I think the Saints will. So I would caution people to know that in week 2, Saints look bad, but I expect that as much. Because they didn't have a preseason, and the Saints always use the first month of the regular season as a preseason for the starters. Most people do that with their teams because they don't want to get them hurt in the preseason. But I appreciate you, Byron, for your call. Thank you, my brother. To keep your head up, bro. We're gonna make it, man. Everything fine, bro. This is just growing pains, bro. Don't even sweat it.
It's a big pain, though, bro. But I know we're gonna bounce back, though, bro. I think that I just need Drew Brees to play his game, though, bro. And I think he's gonna put on the show. I think he can perform real good come Sunday night in the Dome when we at home against Green Bay. And I know he's gonna fire it up, though, but I think he's gonna get his game going. And I think he's gonna get his stuff straight and everything. But I think just stick to the balance in the running game. You got Kamara and Murray. Get Murray involved a lot more, though, bro, in the running game than Kamara, though. Get Murray going, you know what I'm saying? And I say, as long as they, get him more with him and Kamara, stick to the balance, stick to the running game, and then, like I say, get Traquan Smith more too, because he did a great job in that game too. But get Traquan Smith going too, like he did in that game against the Raiders, and then we'll be fine and we'll be straight. And hope the defense, hope they step, and hope they get this thing back on track.
Absolutely, that's words well said, there, brother Byron. I appreciate you, my brother.
I already know, bro.
You have a good one, my brother. Keep your head up. And who that?
Who that? Same too, bro. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Peace. All right. Appreciate Brother Byron with that strong sentiment. Brother Gundam, you still on the line?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Q? How's it going, man?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing?
Not good. From the game the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Just real disappointed. Look, in no way am I on your level when it comes to football situational awareness or the X's and O's, but I'm just going to give you my take on what I'm seeing.
Right.
If we don't get on top of the
hold on,
getting more.
Hold your thought right there, brother Gundam. Give me just a second. Hold that thought. We got another family member on the line. Thank you for calling the Sports Coma family. Who on the line?
Big dogs, it's Big Lance, man. Lance Baptiste, bro.
One more time, my brother. You're a little low.
Oh, Lance Baptiste.
Oh, Lance. Okay, what's up, Lance?
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. You need me to hold on?
Yeah, just we got brother Gundam right ahead of you, bro. And right after he get done, I'll bring you right on in there, bro.
For sure.
Appreciate you, cuz. All right, go ahead, Gundam. Pick up where you left off, my brother.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off of what you're saying about the run game.
Yes, sir.
That's definitely a plus. If we don't get on top of that, there's no way that we can make a deep run in the playoffs. And this is what I'm seeing. If you ever notice, let's say Roethlisberger or even Aaron Rodgers, when a receiver drops a pass from them guys, they'll usually either right away or sometime during the game go back to that receiver. Have you ever noticed that when one of our receivers, let's say our secondary or third option receivers, drops a pass, Brees or Payton hardly ever goes back to them guys to get their confidence in the game? And how this all ties in is once we make a deep run in the playoffs, you can't just depend upon one single option. Like, I get it, Michael Thomas, he's a strong pro, but what other teams are doing is they're pretty much understanding. I'm not saying that they have an actual blueprint, but if they know, okay, we can take away these schemes, pretty much they're going to become a one-dimensional team. And I'm just, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've noticed where Brees has to trust more of his receivers, because one, it's going to help him to give him more options to where we can spread around the wealth and everybody eats. The other thing is, I think that if they're not utilizing Emmanuel Sanders enough, there's going to be problems. Because egos, you know about wide receivers. I mean, how many touches did he have this last game?
Oh, they threw at him 3 times. He had 1 catch for 18 yards.
18 yards. That's unsaid. They've got to. I mean, if you notice some of his 49er tapes, he's a slasher. They've got to get him more involved. Now you've got another option. Then the young kid, Dante Harris. If they get him more involved, now you have another option. And I just think, I get what you're saying in no way, because I know that you understand the X's and O's and the nuances of different schemes. And in no way am I on your level. But I'm just saying that
brother. We all on the same level, bro. We all on the same level,
well,
my brother. You Gundam, you always make good sense, bro. I read you in the chat. You know what you're talking about, my brother. We on the same level.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I disagree, because I remember, I don't know if you remember this, a year and a half ago or a couple of years ago, I'm a big Taysom Hill fan. But you was like, hey, man, this is what you need to look at. You're not looking at certain skill sets. And I saw it in the one game when Taysom Hill threw the pass to Kamara. It was a trick play, whatever you want to call it. Right. But what I'm saying is with Brees, is that if he don't really get on top, okay, I understand about cleaning up, improvement. This is the 3rd game. This Packers team that's coming in, they have a pretty strong, a pretty good secondary. And what I hate about Brees is, and I don't know if it's age or if it's the decision making process. He's doing his checkdowns. Like if he don't have enough time, he tends to panic. That ball needs to be coming out. And there were other receivers open, but Brees wasn't. I don't think he scans the field like he used to, and that's all. In no way am I coming with a rebuttal and saying that, what you're saying that, hey, Brees still, has the ability. In no way I'm not saying that. I don't think he has enough situation, like back in the day, like the 2019, he would scan the field, do a quick check down, make the proper adjustment, make the proper reads. My main concern is just playoff time. Okay, regular season, because we gonna need everybody. Like the other thing that you said, why are they not giving this linebacker kid more time so that by the time playoff comes, we have a tight team, because you can't depend upon Davenport. Davenport usually goes down about what, November, December. It's always an injury. I know, Q. I know that's wrong. I apologize.
No. That he out right now. So
so and don't get me wrong. I still think we have a strong that front 4 is nice. I like the kid from Texas, the rookie. God, what is his name?
Malcolm Roach.
Roach. Okay, I like because he's got that dog in him.
Right.
And I just don't, like my thing is just looking at the game, just to piggyback off what you're saying, that's on the coach.
Right.
That was because how in the hell are you going to let a tight end just giving you the business and not make adjustments? No, that's one thing I love from your show. You always talk about make your adjustments, make your adjustments, make your adjustments. And I'm saying to myself, why are they not making adjustments? They were doing the same old thing. And then when number 30 for the Raiders, the other thing I'm concerned about this team is that you remember when he ran and you saw about 3 or 4 Saints play, they didn't even make an effort to tackle this guy.
They're worn out.
And one of them was Malcolm Jenkins.
Right.
And it's like, come on, man. You've got veteran guys that need to be the example. And then the other thing is the mental awareness when it comes to discipline. The one pass that Carr threw was a long pass, and I think the kid Janoris Jenkins or Jackrabbit. There was no reason to hold him. That's more discipline, and I just think that we just have to be a better team. I think Brees needs to trust more of his secondary receivers. If not, it's going to be. I think that we'll be like a one and done playoff team because they're going to isolate Thomas. Once they bottle up the running game, you know what Sean's going to do. He's going to want to hurry up and breeze in the shotgun. So that's going to give the defensive, players time to adjust, and they know what they're coming with. Either look for Thomas or look for the kid Traquan Smith. If he can catch a ball. No, but don't get me wrong. Yeah, he had a good game, but that one drop kind of hurt us. So other than that, I was very pleased with the run game. I'm really seeing what you're saying. I think that Coach Payton ego is really something that can hurt, make or break this team. And I really think that if he doesn't make the proper adjustments, or I'm not going to say reinvent himself because the season's already here. If he doesn't make the proper adjustments, check his ego, and get more of these young guys involved, and Drew builds a trust factor, I don't think that we're going to do too much this year, even with the talent that we have. Because look at the people that we have. Everybody's talking about the Raiders. Look at the talent that we have. That's what's so frustrating. And I know you're being pretty quiet. I mean, am I spot on, or is there some things that I'm not seeing, Q?
Nah, you on point, Gundam. You have a best, bro. That's why I'm listening to you, bro. You laying it across the line, bro. You putting it out there. You're 1,000,000% correct. It comes down to the fact that the Saints are not balanced right now. And just another caveat, and I made mention of this last night on TSC Q&A, is that if the Saints are, and it's just, how I think, but another way you can kind of build rhythm really fast with your offense is you come out the gate in a 2-minute offense. You can gain an instantaneous rhythm. You can move the ball pretty fast, and you can really surprise your defense. The Saints should have went into a 2-minute offense a lot earlier to gain that rhythm. And I say that because when you go back and research and look at the game, remember what the Saints did toward the back end of the game to jolt their offense from basically a coma. What they did was simply they went into the 2-minute offense, and that's how they were able to get that touchdown on the back end of that garbage time touchdown on the back end of the game, the 2-minute offense. Why wasn't that not used earlier? So I mean, these things, these are the adjustments that you have to make to be able to win the game.
And the other thing is, a couple of years ago, you and I we discussed it. Where's our tight end jumbo package? We've got the tight ends.
You got them.
We could have gave them the business. I mean, that kid Troutman. Why is this kid not getting more touches? I mean, you had the whole middle open. Only thing you have to do is take Emmanuel Sanders, pull out those corners, pull out some of those secondary players. Like how the Ravens do,
right?
Because they protect Lamar Jackson a lot by making those wide receivers pull out that coverage so that the tight end can get underneath.
Correct. Right.
Then you've got Cook. I'm telling you that kid Troutman has good hands. That could be another threat. I mean, we are right there at I know I sound passionate because I'm a longtime Saints fan, but it's like we are right there at the door. We could be in the Super Bowl if Payton, this dink and dunk, same old 2009, 2010. Them days are over. Mm-hmm. Look at how Coach Harbaugh, how he did his adjustment. Like nobody wasn't taking Lamar Jackson. And I'm not trying to change topic, but he adjusted to the young man's strength, and look at where they're at today.
Right.
And and like it says, if you teach a fool, he'll despise you in his heart. But if you teach a wise man, he'll love you. And like Sean, he just doesn't get it that he has to adjust because people are pretty much has the blueprint because they know that Brees is not a mobile quarterback. He's not going to scramble.
Correct.
Okay, he's going to do left, right, middle, check down. That's pretty much it, or get sacked. Okay, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you see it every time because you review the tapes better than I could. But you see it every time when you review the tapes. You know that he's gonna do what 2, 3, maybe a 5-step drop. If we know it as fans, you know it as an analyst. What do you think the other teams are studying?
They know it. If we know it, they know it.
So and I'm just like the last thing was with the tight end that was giving us the business. Why didn't they call timeout? Okay, let's make our adjustments. Or at halftime, let's make our adjustments. The same old thing. And then the young kid, the cornerback. No, I'm talking about the strong. Is he free safety or strong safety? Malcolm Marcus Williams. Is that the kid? Okay.
Yeah.
Will you at least do a memo, please, Q? Do a memo and get this guy in a one-on-one fundamental tackling class. Because this is ridiculous. I mean, you are a pro, and he's more of a finesse player. Like your safeties need to be headhunters.
Yep.
Your corners need to be headhunters. When they come across the middle, you light they up.
Right.
So that when that tight end, when he's catching that ball, he's gonna think about it, like what they did Gronk for that first game. Man, Gronk didn't want no more because they were giving Gronk the business.
Right.
But it's just that, it's too late in the season now because you should be working on these fundamentals like during the summer on how to tackle. I mean, I don't know if you saw the one play where Marcus Williams, he went in diving. I mean, dude, wrap up. Shit, even I know that. Excuse my language. But look, I know you have another call awaiting. That's all I wanted to say. I apologize if I offended anyone with my passion. But
No.
it is what it is.
No, sir. Your passion is wanted here. This is the Great Saint Think Tank family, home of the passionate Black and Gold family members. You ain't at the library. You ain't at church. You let it out, my brother. And I appreciate that, bro. Good sentiment, great commentary as usual, Gundam, bro.
All right, Q. I'm gonna go and listen in on the chat line, man. Thanks, brother.
No.
And be safe. God bless, man.
Same to you, my brother. Peace. And who that?
All right, brother. Who that, brother?
All right, that's Gundam, man. Chiming in there, man. Appreciate that. All right, Lance, you're still in the building, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Oh, and nothing much, my brother. Just sitting up here talking Saints, brother, on the Wednesday, bro. I'm loving it. What's on your mind, my brother?
Man, my man Gundam brought that gospel to us, bro. He was preaching for real, for real.
I was listening to him say, yeah, man, that's why I had to throw that church. You ain't in church, and you ain't in the library, brother. You you have to be quiet, let it out, man.
Right, man. Like I said, man, with the, we always be talking about the negative and shit. There was a lot of negative these first 2 weeks, but my thing is, we don't have to panic, man. We ain't been 2-0. I think it's since 2013. I was looking at, and man, and we got to remember last year we went on the road in week 2. We lost Brees for 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So we down, Thomas, but shit, we still we right where we want to be, man. We about to hit this stride and we'll be all right, man.
I agree. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lance. I mean, you're obviously a man about the history. You know that this is only week 2, and the Saints. This is a basic pattern, man. The Saints come out and they look rusty, just like most teams do. Hold on just a second, Lance. Hold on. Hold your thought, my brother. Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank, fam. Who's online?
It's Reverend Saint, baby. It's Reverend Saint.
What's up, Jamal?
It's Jamal, Q.
What's going on, fam? How you doing, brother?
All right, Q. Yeah, I'll hold the line while you finish, Q.
Yeah, we got Lance right ahead of you, but good to hear from you, Jamal. All right, brother Lance, go ahead and pick up where you left off, my friend.
No, I was saying with Sean, man, like I said, you've been saying it for the longest, man, as far as running the damn ball, man.
Yes,
running
sir.
the ball. We ran, I think it was 19 times as opposed to 38 passes. And when you got a 41-year-old quarterback I mean, that 50-50 sounds real good right now. You know, we want to be able to switch it up and keep the other team guessing, man. And it's like right now, Sean just looking real predictable. You know, I watched the Raiders just drop cats, really drop. What they was trying to do is make the Saints go in the 3rd and long. So as long as they didn't get that 6 yards on that first down or that 6 yards on that second down, they pretty much guarded that part of the field. And again, we just look real predictable. And I feel like Sean is just like, that's just where he at. He's stuck in his ways, and that's just what it is. He don't listen to nobody. It's like he got a bunch of yes men around him, you know?
Right. You're right, Lance. That's how I see it too, man. And Devin Bro told you that much. Who else said that? Who else? Keenan Lewis told you that. Who else was there? It was some other people that, if I think long enough, gave you inklings inside of building how Sean Payton runs that team. And you're right. There's not too many people challenging him schematically speaking.
Right. Like I say, we gonna have to get more versatile, man. And again, you know, like I said, I'm not panicking. It's just the thing I was more worried about is the accuracy of Drew. Because whether he could throw the ball 40 yards, you don't have to throw the ball 40 yards on the field. If you got a lot of speed, which we got tons of speed, dink and dunk will work. But it's just about being accurate and just making sure we switch it up. I mean, Gundam said it. The three tight end set would look good for us. You know, we got 3 tight ends who can ball, and we got what they saying is a real good offensive line. We need to be running that ball. We got 3-4 running backs. You know, Latavius Murray should never have the ball less than 10 times a game, man. You know, like I said, we got the weapons we need to make it, you know, to switch it up and everything. We got to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. You're right, bro. Absolutely. That's what it comes down to. Executing, man. We got to be able to, like you said, the Saints went back and got all these tight ends, and all of them can block and catch. They're all big for that moment, so they can do the 3 tight end set. And we don't see it much in this matchup. But the Raiders give you a 3 tight end set. They gave you 2 tight ends. They ran the ball. They dominated the line of scrimmage. The Saints simply lost their will late in the game. They couldn't get any more pressures to Derek Carr, and by the time they started sending everybody else to get the Carr was already in the rhythm, and he was hitting Waller out the backfield. He was hitting his running backs, and he was doing, and every now and again he'll take a shot downfield to one of his receivers. So, I mean, it's definitely a game the Saints should have had, man. And then outside of that, another caveat to the whole thing is the miscues, where the Saints now have accumulated well over 200 yards worth of penalties in 2 games. They had 129 penalties in game 2. They had 100+ yards of penalties in game 1. And this trend will continue. I just want to let people know that the referees are going to be throwing the flags hard on you. They've been doing that the last 7 years. That's also not a surprise. That's also what I warned the danger symbol. I warned the danger alarm. I sounded the alarm several shows ago and told you about dirty ass referee alert, and they had some dirty calls. They had some pretty bad calls against the Saints, and they were able to only flag the Raiders 3 times for 13 yards or less, 18 yards, whatever it was less than 20 yards of 3 penalties that they had. And I watched them multiple times hold our defenders. I watched them hold Cam Jordan. I seen them hold Trey Hendrickson. I seen them hold David Onyemata. Matter of fact, David Onyemata was running away from running after the quarterback. The offensive linemen were behind him, holding him, and David Onyemata had his arms out like, "You gonna call that dude? He holding me." So I mean, and that's the common theme you're gonna get. So is that a bad thing? What can we do about the referees, Q? Not a damn thing. Ignore them. That's all you can do. Play above them. Forget about them and play your game. Run the ball and steal possessions away from your opponent. That's what it's about. If you don't have to do a damn thing except to run the ball effectively and steal time and possessions away from your team. They'll one-dimensionalize themselves. You don't believe me? Look what the Raiders did to the Saints on Monday night. They did that very thing. Right. They stole 13 minutes from your ass. That's a whole quarter. And then on top of that, beat you by 10 and dominated the line of scrimmage. They did whatever it took and made adjustments. They did what it took because they were the more disciplined team. Even though they were the less talented team, but sometimes that's not about that. If you have the talent and not using it, a talentless team that's playing as a team will beat you. And that's what we've seen. That's why a lot of Saints fans like, man, no way in the world we're supposed to beat that team. That team's not ready for nothing. They're not ready. But you discount and you take your opposition lightly. That's what's going to happen, and the Saints did that. They did not play a full game. They got after them early, but did not finish the game. Marcus Williams with the pass interference, all this kind of old other stuff, the miscues, the holding, the pass interference, all this is a part of it. So that's what ended up happening, bro. All right, fam. Thanks for calling the Great Saint Think Tank. Who's on the line?
Yeah, keep my phone and hunt up this line.
Thank you.
Oh, Tramal, you back on? Yeah, I got you, Tramal. All right, hold on, Tramal.
I got you.
Yeah, Lance, go ahead, my brother.
No, I was just saying, like I said, I agree with everything you were saying with that, man. And another thing is, like I said, even with them penalties, you know, we still had opportunity late in the game, you know, until they kicked that field goal, we were still in it. And to have that many penalties and to be 1-1, not too many teams can do that. That lets you know the talent that this team got, man. So, you know, I'm gonna let's go ahead and get to Tramal, man. But yeah, that's just, we want to just come in and say a little something, show some love, man.
Well, Lance, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for your support, my brother. And who that to you?
Who that, baby?
Who that? That's brother Lance right there chiming in. Big ups to him. Big ups to brother Gundam and Byron. We're gonna bring in brother Tramal. What's up, brother Tramal? How you doing, brother? Are you with me, brother Tramal? You still with me? I can't hear you, Tramal. If you're saying something, bro. I mean, I don't know if Tramal's still on. Are you still on the line, Tramal? All right, we're gonna hold the line. He might have stepped off for a second, but we're gonna hold the line for him for a minute. Perhaps he's still on there. Let me make sure. Oh, there you go. He must phone his phone dropped out on. All right, is that you, Tramal?
Yeah, I got disconnected.
All right. Okay, brother. Brother Lance just got off the line. Okay, you next up, my brother.
I got you, my brother.
How you doing, bro? How everything going for you? All right?
Yeah, it's going good, Q.
All right, good deal. What you think about the Saints, bro?
I got a question for you, Q, on the family.
Yes, sir.
I know Belichick had to make this decision with Brady. But do you think if Brees have like 3 or 4 more games like this, like do you think Payton maybe sit him down and try to go with James Winston and Taysom Hill, or do you think Sean Payton will go down with the ship with Brees for the whole season?
No, I don't think he goes down with the ship with him. I think eventually he's gonna have to do something, bro. He gonna have to do something with it. Hold on for a second, brother Tramal. We'll get another call. I'm gonna finish up that question. All right, fam. Right. Thank you for calling the Sports Coma family. Who's on the line?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm calling in for the show.
Yes, sir. What's your name, my friend?
My name is Richard.
Richard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me a second, Richard. We got one brother ahead of you right now. Got a call ahead of you, and when he get done, we're gonna get you right on in there. Just mute your phone for me, my brother.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, brother Tramal. Yeah, you're right, brother. Well, this is what I think about Brees. If there are 4 more games where, using your breakdown, your example, if Drew struggles in 4 games, you got to go with somebody else. You got to. If he's struggling that bad and you got to make a move at the quarterback position, I think you do. I don't think Sean Payton goes down with him. That's just what I'm saying. And reason being is because any other circumstance, it might be different. But being that he knows that this could be the finale for Drew and Drew doesn't make it, he's going to have to, to salvage the season, he's going to have to do something else. But the thing is this. Drew can still win the game for you. Drew is still the man. Drew is still the dude. And listen, and people really hammering Drew, and I'm thinking about, I'm like, man, how everybody's so on top of Drew like this? I don't understand. And I'm saying that because I'm a stat man. Not only I'm just a stat guy, or just look at the statistics, but I have a mentality to look at the stats and I say, how does it apply? And I'm saying that in terms of Drew Brees statistics. on last night on TSC Q&A, we did the show, Brother Tramal, and I think he was on there. I don't know if you've seen it, but we covered the show last night on Patreon, and I went through the breakdown, and I showed the videos about Drew Brees and what he was doing, and the throwing the ball down the field, and how they were saying that Colin Cowherd was saying that he was crusty. He called him crusty. He compared him to Kirk Cousins, which was, and I just hammered that dude on the show. I mean, I'm just keeping real. That was all stupid and then he said, look at the data. Data is Drew Brees is this, the Drew Brees is that. But the reality is, I'm looking at the data, and the data is indicating that Drew Brees is right now, his statistics up and going into week 3 through 2 games and listen to the whole family members. Listen to the statistics on Drew Brees, what he's doing right now. Drew is 44 of 68. All right, this is the statistics between 2 games, week 1 and 2. 44 of 68. All right, that's good for 65%. That's 65%. 472 yards worth of that he's thrown. He's averaging 7 yards a throw. He has 3 touchdowns and 1 interception and a rating of 93.5. That's Drew Brees' statistics thus far. Anybody look at that stat line and say that is a good stat line. That is a good stat line. The man, 44 of 68, 65% completion percentage on his passes, 472 yards, 7 yards per throw, and 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's a good. That is a very respectable stat line. So what's the issue? The guy's 41 years old. Drew Brees is not what he used to be in so far as carrying a team on his shoulders. You might get 1 or 2 games from Drew this year like that, but don't expect more than that. Because like while I was watching the Minnesota game of last year, the playoff debacle, and Drew was trying to will his team to victory, but physically could not do it. He could not get away from the speedy edge rushers. He could not. He tried to move. He just could not will the team to a victory. So what does that mean to this year? That means this year is that in order to win the Super Bowl, and this shouldn't come as a surprise for anybody, but in order to win the Super Bowl, you have to win it like you did in week 1. It has to be a total team effort. This have to be a run-centered team. And you would think with Sean Payton he has 4 running backs on that he had to open the season with. He had 4 running backs. That's Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, Ty Montgomery, and Dwayne Washington. Now, 2 of the 4 are skillful backs, satellite similar backs with power, but they do better in space, and 2 of which are power north-south one-cut runners, bruiser backs as I call them, angry running backs that run downhill that you should use in your playbook deep in games. The running game should be the staple of this team, and off of the back of the running game should come the passing game, and then you get the play action. Once the Saints get the play action going, there is no team in the NFL that can stop them. Bottom line. Very commonsensical, so why aren't they doing it? The issue is, and I've said it, and I'm going to keep saying it, I've been saying it for years, is that's a discipline component to this. You have to be disciplined to stick to the run. Even when you don't see but 1 or 2 yards, you have to be disciplined because it's a physicality thing. And then using, and listen, we did so many shows. I played dozens of interviews on this show several shows ago, and I documented it, and I made mention to the family. I said, family, did you hear what Sean Payton said about running the ball with 2 running backs? He said, it's very hard to run with 2 backs. And I stopped. I said, hold on here. Did you hear that? I made a point to stop the tape and point it out to the family members to say, hold on, did you hear what Sean Payton said about it's hard to run the ball with 2 running backs? Then I said that is not true. It is easy to run. All you have to do is to signify or dedicate aspects of the game plan to the running back. For instance, anything that is short yardage, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, or in the red zone run style, give it to Latavius Murray. Half of the time, 50% of the time, put a fullback in front of him. I said that if you do that, then you have an aspect of the game where you can put Latavius Murray in on short yardage passes. He averages over 4 yards a carry. You give the ball to him a couple of times, you got a first down. He's 6'3", 240 something pounds. That he's a
Right.
difficult back. It takes multiple people to pull that big guy down. And then guess what? The same thing that happened with Josh Jacobs against the Saints defense late is what you can do to opposing defenses later on
With
by
Murray.
powering
Yeah.
with Latavius Murray. None of those guys want to tackle Latavius Murray running downhill with a head full of steam late in the game. Nobody wants a part of that. I don't care who you are. You got to be insane.
Yeah.
Nobody don't want a part of that. So that's what I was saying is it takes discipline to implement the running game. Try as he may. Sit in front of those guys, hold them in Las Vegas for 3 hours, and force them to watch an hour or 2 or 3 or whatever it was, a tape, and then come back to the city and give them Wednesday off when they had Tuesday off is not the way to go. You have to be in that practice facility, and you got to be in there practicing. You got to be in there ironing these wrinkles out. You got to be in there doing what you're supposed to do. Because you got a short week you got a short week already, and you giving them, they got 2 days off, and they shouldn't have had no damn days off, to be honest with you. You don't get hell no, you don't get no off day. For what?
Yeah.
What I'm rewarding you for? You ain't do a damn thing to
Yeah.
earn you earn an off day. You get out here, you gonna play out here, you gonna get out there, and you gonna do what you gotta do. Bottom line.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what it comes to. That's why we gotta challenge them, because that's full. But I also want to say this, brother Tramal. Let me document this to the Great Saint Think Tank and all the family members out there that I've been saying this about Sean Payton. And I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to leave it alone until I need to show it up again. I'm going to pull it out the card catalog. I'm old school.
Yeah.
We go all the way back to 2009 and remember how the Saints won the Super Bowl. The Saints won the Super Bowl using 3 running backs. So how all of a sudden Sean Payton has amnesia now? He don't know how to run the ball no more. It's hard for me to run the ball. Well, no. You have gotten lazy to having one back that's an all-purpose back, and you're gonna beat the hell out of him and earn and make him pay back all the money that you paid him because you won't get. That's absolutely not the right way to do it here. Sean Payton, I told y'all, Sean Payton is not the same coach that he was in 2009. He don't know how to run with 3-headed attack no more. He don't, and that's a major part of the game. You got to use the running game, especially when you have a 41-year-old quarterback. You have to make the running game the staple of the offense and not the passing game. It has to be the running game.
Right. And like you said, Sean Payton did get lazy because first, he don't want groom no young quarterbacks. He don't want use the 3 running back system like you said. And then you just played a clip earlier saying that like other teams have good balance and stuff. Why we can't have good balance like that?
Is that you, Richard?
Why do he got to brag about other teams
still got Tramal
being
ahead
good
of you.
and having good balance?
Be cool. You're almost done. Go ahead, brother Tramal.
Yeah. But last final word. Like defenses don't respect Brees anymore because of his deficiencies. But like you said, Q, he got lazy. Sean Payton got lazy, and he think he got Mahomes back there, which he don't. So he got to find a way to make up for Brees. I say like shortcomings and limitations, but like you said, Q, he lazy.
Yeah.
But that's all I wanted to say, Q. And Reverend Saint tried to teach him, baby. But he don't want to listen, baby.
Baby, let me tell you, baby, let me tell you something, baby. I tried to tell him, baby, he don't want to listen, baby. I'm going to tell you something, baby. Bottom line, baby, I tried to tell him, baby, he don't want to listen, baby. And I tell him, baby, I don't like the curse, baby, but a hard head make a soft ass, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. Yeah, baby, I'm trying to tell him, baby, he don't want to listen, baby. He don't understand, baby, but
that's what I'm saying,
baby. He going to learn, baby. We're going to keep yelling at him. Thank you, brother Jamal. Who that to you, baby?
Good talking to you, Q.
Same here, my brother. Who that to you, bro? Peace.
All right.
I'm doing pretty good, actually. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I mean, there's a lot of other people called up saying, man, I ain't doing too swell. But so you the first of the bunch to flip that over, so I'm happy to hear that.
Well, I mean, you got a good team there, and you obviously had a rough week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm from the AFC side, so, but the Saints were, I was kind of worried about them. Right now, I'm worried about them in a different way.
Okay.
Like you brought up the running game thing earlier,
Right.
and I was just thinking, okay, what I'm seeing, you could take Kansas City for example.
Mm-hmm.
That's my team. I think I've told you that.
Right.
Their running back, their new one, Clyde, he can catch a pass. He can also run it up your gut.
Yep.
And I believe it's Darrell Williams that he plays with. Damian Williams opted out. He was supposed to be our MVP for the Super Bowl, but
He's pretty
they
good
gave
back.
it to Mahomes. Yep. But they could both run it, and they could both run a route and catch it. And then we got our fullback, Anthony Sherman, and that's not a man to mess with, so that's a solid thing.
Old school fullback.
And, but anyway, I send my condolences that you got beat by the Raiders. We almost took a licking by the Chargers.
You beat me to it because I was about to return them flowers. I'm
God.
about to return them flowers. You about to tell me, I give you condole. I'm about to say, well, I'm gonna send you Richard condolences right on back because you barely got out of that one with the Chargers.
Oh yeah,
rookie quarterback,
258, 258 field goal.
But you won.
Yards
Hey,
in a row. That's how we won it.
But listen, you ain't gonna beat. You're not Richard. You're not gonna beat everybody by 20 points though, bro. But and also that's a division. You're not the Chiefs not gonna beat everybody by 20 plus points, and that's a divisional rival, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a divisional rival. But the fact that we had to go into overtime to score more than 20 points,
that's a good
on
defense,
them,
man.
That means it's a good defense. And Herbert, when he came out, he was better than Taylor, if you ask me.
Yeah, made a few mistakes, but yeah, he was fine though.
They're gonna have a controversy up there in Los Angeles because I just don't see how you can sit out Herbert after that. But what I think they're gonna do, if they're smart, probably Taylor, after getting his lung punctured by the team medic.
Yeah, I read about that today.
Yeah. I think they'll play him when he's healthy, but the coaches there in San Diego need to understand they have a really high ceiling they're working with. They got a great run game, great defense.
Keenan Allen is not a slouch either at the wide receiver position. I mean, he's excellent.
He's a veteran too. He's but what I was gonna say was with the Saints, what I noticed, you guys have the pass rush down, but when the Raiders come in and they run the ball against you guys, it messes with your pass rush, and they really got you with their tight end.
Yep. That was the bell cow.
Yeah. Also, to make it a lighter note, because I know you had a rough week, I was going to say the whole point of me calling you was to say something, but I was listening, But I think the modern day quarterback, the best one that hasn't got a ring, probably won't, is Phillip Rivers.
Phillip, yeah.
Yeah, he's on the Colts. And,
right.
I mean, he's a good quarterback. His only thing is, he'll throw interceptions in a game. He pre-ejaculates in the bedroom. That's why he's got so many kids.
Yeah, he has issues at times, bro. This dude got issues at times, man. But the Colts are an interesting spot for him to be. It's a 1-year deal. They have a pretty decent pretty damn good offensive line, by the way. So if they can run the ball and what's the kid name that's up there, the back, one of the best backs in college last year? What's his name? Jonathan. Oh man, I can't remember the kid's name. He came from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know.
He had 2,000 yards rushing last year in college. I can't think of the kid's name, man. The name passed me, but yeah. But Richard, the Chiefs, man, listen, 2-0, they're looking good, man. Tough win, but listen, that's to be expected when you're in the divisional. Your division guys gonna play, and listen, Tyrod Taylor was getting a shot in his ribs because you know why he was getting a shot in the ribs? Because he got cracked ribs,
he had
dude.
cracked ribs.
He got
and
cracked
they
ribs.
They were gonna numb his ribs up.
Now,
and
isn't
the
that
guy
crazy?
Punctured his damn lungs.
Well, that could be a blessing in disguise, man, because if he'd have went out there and they would have beat the first mean hit or the second mean hit he got, he would have been knocked out of the game. There is absolutely, and I said this earlier, there is no reason why Tyrod Taylor should be playing in the damn game. Thank you for your super chat there,
You're
Jason.
right. You're right, though, because, I mean, a rib going through your lung and making a hole that big,
sheesh,
that's a lot worse than some guy sticking a numbing agent trying to get your rib that's cracked and accidentally poking your lung and you just sit out the game, you know.
He said he couldn't
That
breathe
is
when
a
he
big
gave him the
difference.
shot. That's why he had to go to the hospital. So, man, it's a blessing in disguise, man. But listen, Richard, the Chiefs looking good, man. The Raiders, you're gonna have to deal with them twice a year in some kind of way. Y'all gonna have to
I
cover
ain't
up
worried
Waller.
about the Raiders.
Okay.
You
You got to cover up Waller. We said the same damn thing.
Ravens.
We did the same damn thing. I sit up here on this show and literally laid out a game plan about why and who you need to watch out for. And Waller was at the top of the list. I said most people don't know who this is, but I'm gonna let y'all be aware of this guy. This is this tight end right here. His name is Waller. Went back, showed the statistics, and said what he meant to the offense. You got to stop this guy. You got to stop Josh Jacobs. Listen, I'm telling you, they're a young team, but they got an old school coach at the helm. They're old school. They got a old school run approach. They can run the ball. Even though they have pieces missing everywhere on the offense, they made adjustments, brought rookies in or seldom used offensive linemen into the rotation and had much success. That can't go, even though the Saints didn't look good in that game, the Raiders won that game. They took that game away from the Saints because they were disciplined with the run. They did what they were supposed to do, and they handled business. So I'm just going to tell you, the Raiders are going to look out for them.
You know what? I'm going to take that advice. You're right. The same way the Saints defense operates, you know, you have good pass rushing. So, like with the Chiefs, we got Clark and we got Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we really didn't stop the run at all against the Chargers. That hurt us. I got a little more faith in the Chiefs though, because I don't see the Raiders holding us to 20 points.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, the Chargers have a fantastic defense, man. We knew that with Bosa and Ingram, and then that young kid Murray from Oklahoma. That kid is special. He's double-digit tackles in the first 2 weeks. He's taken over the inside line back position of that Chargers defense. They have good running backs. They have good wide receivers. The issue is quarterback. And had they cut down, his rookie needs to make this guy is going to be something special for that team. But they're not ready this year. But the Raiders,
well, they got Hopkins too, so they can.
That's true. That's true too. But listen, listen.
Like I'm looking at this, and this is the way I've been looking at it. It was either you or the Packers. You know, the Saints or the Packers are going to fight for the number 2. And right now, the way in the NFC it is, and it's only week 2. It's done. That's
right.
it. You know, so it's really early. But it looks like Arizona and the Saints are fighting for that number 3.
Yeah, I've seen a few power rankings that came out have the Saints inside the top 5. Green Bay ahead of them. Arizona's high on the list as well. Kansas City's number 1 on the list. So I mean, there's several teams.
Nah, we're down to number 2 now.
Are you down to 2?
They got the Ravens up. You know.
And that's who you face on Monday night. Good luck with that, buddy.
Oh yes.
Good luck with that. They pissed off too. I just want to let you know. They're pissed off. But Richard, listen, man, I thank you for giving us some time and calling us, my man. We appreciate you chiming in, my friend. Thank you.
All right, absolutely. You have a great night, sir.
You too, buddy. Peace. That's Richard, man. He's a Chief fan, man. You know, we got a lot of cool people that just want to talk. We Saints, but they won't talk to everybody else. But you know what? We smart Saints people. We'll talk with you because we know your team, because we got to scout that team, because that's who we might be playing in the Super Bowl. All right, family, let's get back to the line here. We got a great Saint Think Tank family member on the line. Who's on the line, family? Thank you for calling.
No Saint Q. What's up, man?
No Saint. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Listen, that game, I had to put the phone down. I had to shut everything off. That game, it reminded me of the Raiders reminded me of the old days with the Saints, with Bobby Hebert, Eric Martin, Dalton Hilliard, where they would dink and dunk the whole way down the field. And listen, I've been a big supporter of Drew Brees. With the last 4 years, people have been saying he's looking old. After 2 games, I'll admit, I don't know if it's the timing. I don't know if it's his arm strength. I don't know if they're playing deep and forcing him. That's why they're not taking the deep shots. I don't know the whole, because, what is it, the all 11 film or whatever they call it. I have no idea what he sees. But I will say, these last 2 games, he's been looking a little old. But that being said, he wasn't on the defense covering that tight end. And to me, the game was lost. That whole third quarter, we barely had the ball. We lost because our defense couldn't get off the field. That's why we lost. It wasn't, sure. There were some penalties. Really, there were only 2 penalties that I thought were suspect. The Sanders one, the block back, I thought that was weak. Mm-hmm. And I thought the Cam Jordan one was weak. Other than that, that interference, listen, that cornerback, I would rather the cornerback let that receiver go and take his chances with that ball being overthrown than grabbing the hand of the receiver, giving the ref a chance to throw a flag. Right. You got to know that. You got to know the situation. That killed me, because I thought we had a chance to maybe come back there, even though they were playing like garbage. Another thing was Waller. You called it. You did call it. I'll second what you just said, because you were talking about that last week. You were talking about that tight end. And I don't play fantasy anymore because it takes up too much of my time. I watch all the games, and I was going to end up divorced if I kept on playing fantasy football. So I didn't know. Yeah. So I did. She said she could handle 1 game, but I was watching every single game. So I didn't know who that tight end was until you mentioned something about it. And what drove me nuts, and you probably were the same way, when it was 4th down after they fumbled the 3rd down ball and they were getting up there, I'm like, it's going to the tight end. I was telling them, it's going to the tight end. Nobody covered the tight end. I was like, you got to be joking. You got this. And really, the running back, listen, we still haven't had like a 100-yard rusher since I think 2017 or something like outrageous.
It's like 45 games or 46 games now without a 100-yard rusher.
He was trying. Gruden was trying. I thought we played the run halfway decent. The problem was they'd get 3 or 4 yards and then they would go to the tight end. It was like a 2-man game. Hand the ball off and then throw to the tight end. It was crazy. Luckily, the only other tight end we played near that good is Kelsey. Yeah. Or some will say he's better. He's the number 1, but it's a close second if Waller's not number 1 or 2. But it was frustrating, Q. I know, bro. It was demoralizing. But, it's a game of matchups. So I told somebody today, I was like, well, I know Green Bay doesn't have any tight ends. They don't throw to the tight ends at all. So, it's a game of matchups. I don't want to abandon ship. And as far as Drew Brees goes, the only way Drew Brees sits the bench is if the season's over. I don't think they're going to sit him, because I don't think we have anybody better than him. Physically, yeah, we got guys physically faster, stronger. I just don't think as a quarterback there's anybody better. And I don't think Payton, unless the season's over and then, maybe he's looking – I know Payton never looks at draft picks. He'll beat Tampa Bay the last game of the season to get us out of the top 10. So But I would love to see us get the next quarterback, Lawrence or somebody like that, but no, that game was lost on defense. As bad as the offense looks and as off as Brees looks, we should have never. They couldn't get off the field. And I got a question for you, Q.
Yes, sir.
I got a question because we mortgaged future seasons unless we have some really good drafts the next couple of years that get us some starters for this all-in season. And I'm curious, who are we going to offload? Because they want to pay Ramczyk. They want to pay Lattimore. Are we going to offload Rankins? Are we going to offload? I mean, who are we going to offload after this season to make room to field the team once Brees retires? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, I mean, Rankins is definitely a guy. He falls off the books. His contract is up this upcoming season. I would have definitely more than likely threw out there that you could have gotten rid of a guy like perhaps what's his name, Demario Davis. We could have got rid of, but the Saints read up with Demario Davis. It's going to be a mixture of cuts, and they're going to be cutting off contracts in terms of paying a lot of money up front to shrink it. What is it, 20, 30 something million to get underneath there? I mean, you look at a guy like the 6 or 7 million for Nick Easton. He falls off the books. No, he doesn't fall. He actually got another couple years. So I could see him being a cap casualty. I could see Patrick Robinson falling off, PJ Williams, and the Saints will draft some guys. They'll get undrafted guys for cheap. They're perfectly positioned for this C-19 crazy backwards world of football that'll be happening coming up in the next year. But they have 20-something million that they got to kind of cut away, and I think they'll be able to get that done with Drew. But then the thing is, Saints win the Super Bowl. Drew says, I'm coming back to play. Then you of course you will have to reduce his contract, give him maybe 10 million or 10 million of his or half his money in a signing bonus right up front, so they can relieve that on the cap end. So I could see several deals like that being made just for them to get there. There'll be some cuts, but there'll also be some upfront money paid to pull that money off of the contract, so they can free up on the cap, so they can meet the financial cap limitations of the upcoming season. Just a second there, No Saint. We got a family member on the line. Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line?
Inevitable.
What's up, Inevitable? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, and you?
I cannot complain, bro. Sitting here talking to the Great Saint Think Tank on Hump Day. So hey, man, I'm doing good, my friend.
Oh, that's good, man. Good to hear.
All right, so just be give me a little bit, my bro. We got No Saint right ahead you, and as soon as No Saint get done, I'll bring you right on in there. Thank you, Inevitable. Big ups.
Right, so
thank you, bro.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
Yeah, so no doubt. So I don't know. I when it comes to Kamara is, I don't want to say we overpaid for him because he's awesome, but when I look at all the running backs that blew out their knees this week, and I know that running backs average 4 years, I hope they don't run him into the ground, because I know we owe him some money. And then I don't know, Taysom Hill, I'm not sure if he's worth 2 plays a game for the money we paid for him. Traquan Smith, I'm still not impressed with him. He had a decent game, but he dropped a crucial pass that Michael Thomas would have brought in for sure that led us to a field goal in that first drive. I'm not sold on him. I think he's quasi-bust, in my opinion. Davenport, the dude never plays. He's always hurt. So I don't know. I'm sort of wondering if they're going to try to trade, use some of these guys. I don't think they'll ever trade Kamara or Thomas, but and why would you? But I don't know. I'm sort of looking to the future. I know the season's young, and last year we felt the same way when Drew Brees went down, and then we went on a run. I'm excited for this week's game, but we're coming to a point that, Brees can't be, like someone said earlier, Brees is like a Hall of Famer, but he's at this point in his career, he's not Trent Dilfer. He's better than Trent Dilfer, but he's not, like you said earlier, he's not what he used to be. we need that defense to show up. We need the running game to take more of the load off of him. And he needs to do exactly what it is, which is diagnose plays and manage the game. We're at that point. We're not at the 40 point a game anymore. We're at 28 points a game, 24 points a game with Brees. So luckily the defense looked decent this year, except for this last game because of the tight end, the one tight end. I think it was a bad matchup. I really believe that they got out coached. Gruden out coached Sean Payton. And they had a great game plan. So that happens. It happens in the NFL, Q.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll hang up, let the next guy come on. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the vibe.
Appreciate you, no Saint, bro. And that was great commentary, man. We got to cover up the tight end. Can't let them abuse us like that. And guess what? There are plenty of athletic tight ends that's out there that we got to deal with. We just disrespected the hell out of this one. So big ups to Jay Survivor. Thank you for your super chat, Jay. He says 09, three-headed monster. Thomas, Bush, and Bell. Let's help number 9. That's absolutely right. Thank you for that, Jason. I appreciate you. And all the family members that gave super chats, big ups to you. And the family members that cashed app as well. Thank you all as well. All right, we're going to bring in Inevitable. Inevitable, can you hear me, sir?
I can.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Oh well, quite a bit actually.
Okay.
So let me start off by saying that was a horribly officiated game. I know we committed penalties. We definitely did. We was sloppy, but there was a lot of ticky tack stuff that was going on like that. Illegal formation. That was kind of garbage.
Right.
And then the horse collar on Cam. I know we did grab his horse collar, but he let him go. I've seen plenty of times that get let go. And then there was a few other ones I can't really remember, but there was a few other ones. But the thing is you know what my thing is too, and I don't know if really anybody really touched on this, but I don't really know how much we're really paying Taysom Hill. I can't remember 10 million, 16 million, whatever they gave him. But
16.
you're paying 16 million. So you're paying virtually your third string quarterback $16 million, and he's your gadget guy. He does this, he does that, he does all kind of stuff. Why is that guy only on the field for like 4 plays, 5 plays? And when this was the type of game that we needed a spark, and we all know Taysom he gives us that spark when we need it, when we don't have it, like when the Minnesota game when he had that long run. I think this Oakland game would have been the perfect time to give Taysom. And I'm not even talking about giving him the ball, running the ball. You could have passed him the ball too. You could have gave him the ball in another kind of way, because it gives him this, because Camaro was running all over the place. So, and then another thing about our running game that aggravates me too is early in the game that we give the Latavius the ball. He runs the ball for 8 yards, and then off the field he comes. It's like when you look around the league and when you see a running back run for 8 yards, I don't really see that guy coming up trotting off the field. I see that guy going back to the huddle, because especially a volume runner like Latavius, if he runs the ball for 8 yards, give him the ball again. You just ran for 8 yards. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. There was a lot. There was a lot that was bad about that game that had me concerned, even though it is still very early. But Drew. The thing is with Drew too is, I like your last caller said that he doesn't think that we have anybody. I think his words was we don't have anybody better, but we have people that are more talented. Yeah, like Jameis is more talented. But the thing is we as Saints fans, we have to learn to like kind of like, we all love Drew. Drew's Breezus. They call him Breezus down there. I guess I don't live down there, but there comes a time where you just gotta learn you gotta let go. It happens to everybody. It's like if we see Drew performing like he's performing, and like this is three like mediocre games that he's played in a row, dating back to the the Minnesota game last year, and then the Tampa Bay game, he didn't really play that well. I don't think he did. And then this game, he played. I mean, he put up numbers, but we were playing from behind. That's another thing too. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just rambling on about what upsets me about that game, which was a lot. In the the third quarter or the fourth quarter or something like that? Yo, them dudes had a 9-minute possession. How you gonna let this team have a 9-minute possession? Like, we didn't even see the ball that whole quarter, and that's why our time of possession was awful. And then what else? Oh, and the Waller thing. I think that last caller too. He sounds pretty knowledgeable, but he didn't really know, or the caller before, I don't really know who I can't remember who it was, but they didn't really know who Waller was. But they need to find out who Waller is, because I'll tell you what, I knew who Waller was. This is who Waller is. Waller is the reason why Jared Cook is here, because of Waller. You remember that?
Yeah.
Q?
Yep.
Waller's the reason why Jared Cook is a Saint, because Jared Cook had a good year with Oakland 2 years ago. I think he might have had a career year in some type of stat. It might have been receptions or yards or something like that. But they love the kid Waller, and then that's when they let Jared Cook go, and then Waller burst on the scene. That kid's a real good player, really really good player.
Yeah.
I mean, Q?
Yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, he has a wide receiver skill set at the tight end position, and that's the great thing about him is he's 6'6", he's 250 pounds, even though he doesn't look like he's 250. But he's lanky, he's long, he's skillful, and he's a matchup nightmare. And kudos to Gruden. They found that kid off Baltimore's practice squad and signed him and developed him. They stuck with him. He had several off-the-field issues. He was a weed head. I want to say he was a weed head and dealing stuff, but he cleaned himself up. The team believed in him, and it paid off for him, man. They got a hell of a player.
Yeah, he's good. And let me ask you a question too. So now with Waller eating us up the way he was the other night, which I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised, because that kid's good. But if Swearinger's out there, do you think Waller's eating us up over the middle like that? I mean, because I don't, because yo, Swearinger, he knocked Godwin out of the game against us, and then Godwin missed the game. You know what I mean? So Swearinger could have gave him a remember me shot, and he wouldn't have had 12 catches for out on yards. I still don't know why P.J. Williams is still even on this team, but that's another story. But do you think that he would have went for 12 for over 100 yards if Swearinger was out there?
If they had the same game plan, I'm pretty sure he would have got at least another. He would have got 9 to 10 catches in the day. I think the difference with Swearinger is over P.J. Williams. Is Swearinger will pop you, and that kid was in positions where he should have got popped. And you can't. And that's the tone setter thing I'm always on when you're on the back end defense. That's the aggression factor. You remove Swearinger out of the secondary, you remove a lot of the aggression factor. Because Marcus Williams is not an aggressive safety. He's not. He's a very nice guy. He doesn't have that mean streak that I would like to see in a safety. When people ask, well, Q, what more you want from him? He gets interceptions. He makes tackles. And I said, well, I'll tell you what I want from Swearinger. I mean, from Marcus Williams. I want him to look like Jonathan Abrams did Monday night. Then everybody, I told people about Jonathan Abrams. A lot of people probably didn't know who Jonathan Abrams was. And I said, listen, there's a guy on the back end of the Raiders secondary. His name is Jonathan Abrams. He's a hell of a player. And all you've seen in the Raiders game was Jonathan Abrams, the safety, running down hill looking to hit something. That's what you need. That's what you need. The ferocity of a young safety running downhill, ready to put some pain on somebody, let me tell you. And he almost got Deontay Harris. If Harris wasn't swift enough to get out of the way, Deontay Harris would have been a victim of Jonathan Abram, let me tell you something. So that kid is ferocious. But like I said, it's an attitude, man. You can't have a safety. You cannot have a safety on the back end of your defense that can't catch. I mean, that can't tackle. That's not how it's supposed to go. That guy is the last line of defense, man. You can't have that. And everybody and his mama know that Kai can't tackle. I've been saying that for when the kid, I was like, man, we got to get rid of this kid, man. We got when he did the Minnesota Miracle, I knew he wouldn't get right. But hopefully the last ditch effort was to see if Malcolm Jenkins could do something with him and teach him the game. A part of his game is he got to have a mean streak and some attitude in him to really pop guys. And I don't know if he has that mentality. I don't see it. In 4 years of watching him, he comes out early this year and say, I got to tackle better. That's 4 years of you being here as a safety, the last line of defense, and that's the last thing I want to hear is my last line of defense starting safety tell me he got to tackle better. And we can't then come out here and say, well, Q, he was a young guy, he got to learn. That guy had more reps than any one of them young guys out there. You can't say that about Traquan Smith. Traquan had to wait for an opportunity to get in there to make something happen. This damn guy been starting since he got here. Yeah, got going on 4 years full of starting experience, and we still waiting to learn how to tackle. You know, so I mean,
need a missile. Right. You need a missile out there.
Right.
You know, and the thing is what you're talking about, like 11 having a mean streak. That's just not just gonna suddenly come. That that's not something that you teach. You could teach fundamentals and technique and all that. You can't teach that. Like either you're a headhunter or you're not a headhunter. That's just correct. Not gonna just develop. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that's you're born with that. Like you come out the womb with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So Marcus Williams, he don't have it. I mean, he'll pick a ball off here and there, but he ain't striking no fair and no wide receivers going across the middle. You know, he ain't. That's not him. You know, there's so many issues, and the thing is with if anybody thinks that we got like hosed by the refs against the Raiders, watch against the Packers. Watch against that, because that team right there. I got this little graph on my phone. I wish I could send it to you, but I got this little graph on my phone that I screenshotted, and the Packers over the past several years, I don't remember how many years it is, but that team right there, they benefit more. They're bailed out by the refs more than any other team in the league. It's like a graph. It's like a chart, and they're awarded more first downs by penalty by the refs than any other team in the league, in the National Football League. The past, I think it's like 5 to 8 years. So this Sunday night, we better be on our A game way more than what we were on against Oakland, because it's going to be another long night, because that team's like, they're more efficient than Oakland is, because of Rodgers. You know, he's playing good right now. So that right. You know, I don't know what's up with Adams, but that Jalen Rashad touchdown was kind of BS too, because I've seen a lot of quitting on that play, and that's something that you don't want to see. You at least want to see some effort. And I don't know. I heard a caller say it was Jenkins, and it might have been Jenkins, but I thought I seen Chauncey quit a little bit in there too. I could be mistaken, but I think it was Chauncey was in there, kind of quitting a little bit too. So I don't know. We got a lot of work to do. That was ugly. That was really ugly.
Yeah, that wasn't how it was supposed to go, and that's that's a part of it. And we were saying this when the season opened. Realistically speaking, if you're the coach, you've got to give the team the running game. The expectation you open up the season with 4 active running backs gives the indication that you're going to run the ball. You have 4 running backs. Use the running game. You have a whole palette of different styles of backs. Please feel free to use them. If you love Alvin Kamara that much, put him in the slot. Decoy him sometimes. Give your running game an opportunity to do something. I mean, whatever. But the reality is the Saints have to run the ball to help out the 41-year-old quarterback. That's the standard thing that I've been saying. And ultimately, Drew Brees will catch fire. Once again, he will get in a rhythm. The Saints offense will look. It's only week 2. This is what we've been seeing over the last several something seasons. Same thing. They use the first, and I'm going to say it again, they use the first month of the regular season as a preseason, because the starters don't play in the preseason anyway. If Drew would have played, if they would have had a preseason with 4 games, Drew Brees would have played at least 3 quarters. He'd played 3 quarters at most of that entire preseason. And then they would have still looked the same way coming out of the preseason into the regular season, because that's what they do. You know, they're not going to play those guys in the preseason. They used to do that a while ago, but when players start getting hurt in the preseason, the coaches started really catching hell behind that. Getting your star players or important people hurt in the preseason in games that don't count. So they don't play them that often. They play them in the regular season so nobody can hammer them for that. So, I mean, the Saints are going to do that. That's what it is. You're still in preseason. Just remember that y'all are still in preseason, and you won't see the Saints come out until the third or the fourth game. It's a short week, so I don't know. You'll see improvement, but really the fourth game is when you should see the Saints offense sink back to what you're accustomed to seeing. But you got to bring the running game when you're not throwing the ball well. It's not a good sign that he refuses to run the ball and control the clock, and you need the running game right now. That's not a good sign for me.
Yeah, I'm upset about the loss, but. When you think about it, though, we started this year 1-1, and it's very similar to the way we started last year. We started last year 1-1 also.
Exactly.
I mean, we beat Houston, and then we went out to LA and we lost that game. And they I didn't want to say they blew us out, but they beat us convincingly. And they had that Cam Jordan return wiped out, and that killed our momentum. But whatever, it's the Rams. You know they're gonna side with them. And then this year we win. We beat Tampa, and then this year we go to California. Well, Vegas, but still West Coast. And then we lose to the Raiders pretty convincingly. So I'm not worried about it. We got to get our act together. We're too good. We're too talented of a roster not to, you know. But I just think Sean Payton needs to stop falling in love with his, like, I understand he's in love with his Kamara and he's in love with his Tom. He loves his guys, you know. But he got to realize that he's got a 53-man roster, and you got a lot of guys on offense. Like, you bring in Ty Montgomery, you need to utilize Ty Montgomery. And like that caller said a few callers ago, Adam Troutman, that cat Troutman is good, man. They need to start dialing up some plays, implement him into your offense more, because you you got Josh Hill and you got Jared Cook. We know what we got with these guys. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not worried about Sanders either. You know why I'm not worried about Sanders? Because he's a savvy vet. Mm-hmm. And if you remember last year, at the beginning of the year, Jared Cook and Brees weren't really on the same page. But then as that season started rolling along, Drew and Jared Cook started building a rapport with each other, and they were lethal. Now, and I think Sanders and Brees can do the same thing. I mean, come on now. If Sanders can be lethal with Jimmy G, he could do it with Brees. You know what I'm saying, Q?
Right. You're right, bro.
It can get done. You know what I mean? Right. Sean Payton's he's a brilliant play caller. He just needs to put that ego aside. Check that ego. You know, you gotta evolve with times. You gotta like they say, this isn't back in the day when we won the Super. You gotta evolve with. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get with the like. Look at Kansas City. They're moving the ball up and down the field. Baltimore moving it. Even the Chargers were moving. There's a lot of these teams in there. They're like hip to the game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we gotta get like that. Like, and we got the talent to do it. He's a statue quarterback, and I know a lot of people don't like the statue quarterback, but he's our statue quarterback. He's our guy. You know, we know he could do it. But like you said, it's early, so we're gonna get it done. But I'm gonna get up off the phone now. I gotta, you know me. My girl got the stuff to do. She got the stuff for me to do. So, you know, yes, dear.
All right, Inevitable. I appreciate you, though, my brother. Thanks for chiming in, my man. You be safe up there, bro.
You too, my man. Thank you. Who that?
Who that? That's Inevitable. Thanks for calling the Great Saint Think Tank, fam. Who's on the line?
Trail, what's going on, big brother Q?
What's up, brother Trail? How you doing, bro?
Whew. Man.
You sound like the rest of the family, man. What's
you
up?
talk about the fact you got to take a deep breath.
I know, bro. It's tough, man. I'm looking at, and I'm gonna just give some receipts to the family members for those who might forget about the situation dealing with what happened in the first couple of games. Now I'm gonna give last year's statistics, and then I'm going to get the year before that. All right. Number one is last year in 2019, the Saints Started the season off with a win over the Houston Texans. The score was, what's the score here? Let me see. What's the score here? I don't have the score up here. Hold on here. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna click into it and get in there, but they beat the Texans. Then they lose in week 2 to the Rams, and then they will off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins before the bye week. And at that time, coming back against Atlanta, they were 7-1. Okay, now I'm just saying that, and then just to give a family member some light, because sometimes, we got to refresh our memories on this stuff to understand. Because I'm saying every year it's the same thing. This is sort of my little receipt thing I like to do. I like to present the receipts. Okay, now let's go back to 2018 and see what it looked like. 2018 for the Saints, guess what? They started the year off with a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost to the Bucs. They came back and beat they beat the Browns. They went in overtime and beat the Falcons. Then they beat the Giants. They beat the Redskins. They beat the Ravens, the Vikings, the Rams, the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Falcons. And finally, they lost one to the Cowgirls. So I'm saying all that to say, and let me go one more year back. I'm gonna go to 2017, and I'm doing this just to preference some receipts about the years when you're looking at the Saints over the last 3 years to show you that we've seen this movie before. Now, let me go back to 2017 here. Hold on here. They were 11-5 there. How did they open that year up? Well, guess what? The Saints opened that 11-5 year up with 2 losses in the regular season. They lost to the Vikings and the Patriots out the gate. And then they went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 win before they finally lost against the Rams. They went on about 9 straight, well, actually 8 straight wins before they had a loss to the Washington Redskins. No, that's a win to the Redskins. So they won about 8 games, and then they lost to the Rams. So what I'm saying is, as you can see, and I constantly say this, in the last 3 years, you see the Saints have to get a rhythm in those first 2 games. They come out the gate. And, we very well them come out and fire out the gate and win, the 4 games in a row in that first month. Like I said, and I showed you those plays just to let the people know, because sometimes we forget, because we watch so many games, that you got to understand is that the Saints coming out the gate in that first month, it's preseason. That's why bad football looks like that. So you got to learn to win ugly in these contests. That's not nothing to take nothing off of Sean Payton, because he wrong. And in the words of the great Reverend Saint, you wrong, baby. You wrong. Because that's what he's definitely damn sure wrong for not running the ball. But hold on for a second, Brother Trail. I'm going to let you get in there. Just hold your thoughts for a second. Thank you for calling the great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line?
What's up, Q?
Brother Paul, how you doing, sir?
I'm so.
We got the historian on the line. I won't hear what the historian got to say after. I won't hear what Brother Trail says. We got some interesting conversation here. Brother Trail, you up first, my friend. Go in it. Then we got the historian behind you once you get done.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna add a little before I get to my rant. I'm gonna add a little tip of your receipts.
Okay.
Not to mention the last 3 years, we lost Drew Brees, we lost Mark Ingram, and we lost Ted Ginn Jr. All of them were starters in the first or second week of the season when they went on that winning streak, to add that to your preference that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen this movie before, because now we lost Mike Thomas, another starter. So what you're saying is validating that we can go on streaks losing starters. That has been known that we've done that in the past. But you know how I feel about Drew Brees and the whole 9 yards. But I'm gonna go a different route with him. And I said this at the beginning, and everybody said I was crazy. Oh, we okay? This is not a project team. You can't be finding project pieces and building it to a Super Bowl contender. I've been screaming this till my hair falling out. We need another receiver, bona fide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's hard for me. And I get everybody with the Drew. I get that. But Drew Brees could not throw the ball over the top. The defense basically knows since he's not going to go over the top, they just play in the front of him. So you got receivers that can't even break loose. Nobody can get open nowhere. So when receivers do finally get open, Drew Brees, so like, God damn, I got to hurry up and throw the ball. He open to where it always be a misconnect with it. And I said this from the beginning, man, and they was like, oh, man, we need another receiver. We need another receiver. That is the only thing that hurts us is not having another receiver that can go over the top to be a threat. And if we do not get that, I don't care what they say, we are not winning without that deep threat. Much as nobody like to tag it, I'd rather kept Ted Ginn. If you go back to that Pittsburgh game we played, remember that year we played Pittsburgh in the Dome?
Mm-hmm.
That last run at the end of that game, we was like second and 21? The defense played so far back. You know why? Because Ted Ginn Jr. was back there. And he still ended up catching that clutch pass to get a first down. And get us, and we had opportunity to score. And what happened next when Pittsburgh got the ball, they end up fumbling. But if you don't have nobody over the top, the defense don't have to play like that. They can just stay up in your face and play. And we need another receiver. And if people keep saying, oh man, we got Emmanuel Sanders. Listen, all that's good. Emmanuel Sanders is like a Drew Brees. He's on the decline too. You can't always depend on this guy. We need a break. I mean, we need a receiver. Like I was like, man, let's go get Dez. Dez can't be that bad. Everybody was like, well, we don't need. Who you gonna get besides Dez then? Like on a cheap level right now, who can you go get besides Dez Bryant? You need a receiver to help Drew out. The running game can be okay, and you need a receiver. If you don't go get another receiver like we had with Ted, I don't care what you do. Defenses do not have to play back on you. They're gonna play up in your face, and we've seen what happened with the Raiders game. When John Gruden realized what was going on, this man said, you know what? Hey, man, we ain't got to go all 10. Let's stay right up in their face. He's not going to pass the ball past 10 yards. And that's what they did. And they kept everybody in front. So guess what's going to happen? It's hard to run the ball when you like that. It's even harder to run the ball like that because the defense, they don't have to worry about nobody going over their backs. They don't have that problem. Ted gone. So it's like, what do you do next? You sit back with the same squad and just hope for the best? Because the only reason why we really beat Tampa Bay is because even though Michael Thomas was hurt, he was a threat at receiver. You had to keep it honest with this guy because he can fly out, he can run. But the other thing I wanted to get on, and I just did not understand this for the day of my life. Everybody keeps saying about the defense, and I get that. We at goal line. Why in the hell is Dennis Allen instead of blitzing at goal line? Even my grandmother knew that Carl was going to back up and throw the ball to the tight. Even she knew this. Why are you blitzing at goal line? I could never understand his philosophy with defense. And the same guys that we bash on defense, they'll go somewhere else and be Hall of Famers. They'll be superstars. But when for some reason, something about this Dennis Allen, I do not like his style of coaching. At the beginning of the game, you see how aggressive he was. You see how everything was just doing what it do. But that goes back to the offense. If you got an offense that's 1, 2, 3, 4 punt, 1, 2, 3, 4 punt, then the defense gonna be tired. You can't keep them guys on. And we already know the secondary weak. Why are we gonna be trying to keep them guys on the field like that? Do something to cover them up. And to me, that's the problem. What I said early on through one of your sessions, I said, man, we always offense stalling. And guess what you do? You keep bringing the defense back to the field, back to the field. Back to the field. These guys like they play 80% of the game because the offense couldn't stay on the field. So to me, I think one thing we need to do is get a receiver. You got to get a receiver to help. I believe you get another receiver to help Drew Brees. Who it may be, I don't know, but you need a flat out stud. You need somebody who can run. If you can get somebody that can help Drew Brees out, if you can keep the running game honest, and for some reason, if he go, I seen him talk crazy. All these other defensive coordinators, I don't know what type of liver fat him and Dennis Allen got. Man, go get on his ass and tell him, hey, it's a time to blitz, it's a time not to blitz. You seen Marshawn Lattimore, the blitz, and the guy was wide open. And I don't understand his philosophy, Q. And I think if he get it to where Dion, hey, listen, just play man on man, man. If you get burnt, you just get burnt. But all that blitzing, man, let's just hope the defensive line can do what they do. Because you can't trust your secondary to keep pulling them back to blitz. Because that's when you notice, that's when they receivers go for big plays every time. Tight end was killing us because we kept blitzing with the secondary. I just never understood that. So with me, Q, I'm like you. I'm not worried. This is just the second game. I'm not really that worried right now. I mean, I'm not in panic mode. But cause I still think we can win. I still think we got the best team. But down the line, they're gonna have to start making some changes. I don't know what you're gonna do with Taysom Hill. You know, I don't know the whole thing with that. You signed this kid, what he gonna do? He gonna be a receiver, he gonna be a running 2 plays. Come on, man. Like, I just don't know the philosophy with Sean Payton thinking, but I'm not gonna get down on this team right now. It's too early in the season, and like you said earlier with your receipts, it's kind of too early to just like, you know, dig them down in the grave. It's too early. Even with Drew Brees, and you know how I feel about Drew. I want him gone. But it's even with Drew, it's still too early. Because, man, Drew can get hot. Drew can actually get hot and go like, the next 7 games, 14-1 with touchdowns and interception ratio. So I just hope for the best with my team. I ain't going to beat them down, you know what I'm saying? Because right now it's just the second game. I believe they're going to beat Green Bay. I believe they're going to come out and play I think they're going to be a different Saints team come Sunday night. I don't think we're going to see the same team we just saw Monday. Because I believe now they're going to have to show the world because the world are like, hey, look, y'all looking like Atlanta Falcons over here. So, I mean, you know, I'm here in Atlanta, so, you know, you can't do that to me. Look, I got to take the heat for our team.
Oh, man.
So, you know, they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait till we lost. Oh, my God. We lost? Man, you should have seen my desk Monday morning. I had little notes and all kind of little stuff. I like, oh, this is how we playing it. Like y'all just didn't lost a big lead against Dallas. But the Saints need to understand, man, everybody hate us. Everybody hate us in the league. So when you give them, you like that dumb thing Michael Thomas did Monday night with the tweeting. Come on, man, we got to be smart. We got to play smart. We got to go do our thing. And I believe the Saints going to do it. I thought they're going to do their thing, man. I'm not going to beat it. You know me, man. I'll be ready to just chill them. I'm not going to it's too early for that. It's too early. I believe they going to wake up. And when you pull your receipts out, that's proof that the Saints going to wake up. They going to wake up. So, man, I'm riding with my team, man. I just hope Drew get better, do what he need to do. The rest of the squad just, you know, link up, man. We just go run this thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Trell. I think that's what the case that should happen, man, to be quite honest with you, bro. No doubt about it. The Saints have to get this thing right, man, and I think they will. And like I said, it's all a matter of time, man. And then you have 2 weeks, you'll start seeing the Saints, and then the media changes perception because they're just like children. They don't use the historical record or know the team well enough to understand what they can do and what they're about. And the Saints you don't have to motivate them to win. Sean Payton understands and knows that he got a veteran team there, and they like winning, and they're going to get back on the winning side of things.
And we as fans, we shouldn't want ESPN, and we shouldn't want Stephen A. Smith and all them to root for us, because every time they do, they jinx asses, something happen bad with us. We don't want none of them rooting for us. Let us Saints stay in our own little zone and let them go against us. And let us ride it all the way to the Super Bowl. We don't need them rolling our coattail. I don't even watch ESPN for them to talk about our team, because I want them to be against us. I like when Skip Bayless and all of them get to talking down. I like it. Because then I know my team for to come out the next week and do their thing. But we're going to be good, kid. We're going to be good. I'm going to get off because I know you got another caller, man. But, hey, we're going to be good, y'all. We're going to be straight.
That's right. Best appreciate that. Big ups to you, Trell. And who that out there, bro?
Who that, bro?
Who that? All right, Brother Paul, the historian's in the building. What's going on there, Brother Paul? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Q. But you know what? I can't take this no more. Where that alarm at, Q? I need to hear that alarm. You sound that alarm.
You want me to sound?
Thank you for calling a game like that. That was absolutely pathetic.
Yeah. Well, that was a tough one. What your perspective is, Brother Paul? I know you said what was your score? 27-24 Saints. You had it 27-24 something, 27-21 something like that.
27-21 Q. I almost got it. I told him. I even told my wife. I said this game gonna be closer than what people think. The Raiders, I wasn't gonna just roll over. They had big old nice stadium. Man, that thing looked sweet. And then they had Miss Al Davis sit up there. See, Q, people don't understand. That puts fire to people. Give them inspiration. Oh man, I knew it was over there. I just knew it. I just felt it. I said this game just ain't feel right to me. Even when I called it during the week, Q, you remember I kept saying I don't feel right about this game.
Right. And you did say that, and you were absolutely right, tapping into that historical record. And I just had to drudge it up the last 3 years of what we look like coming out the bat. The first 2 weeks, and the 11-win season, we started 0-2 before we fired off several straight wins to get back there. So, I mean, we strike when we catch a groove. We catch a groove into the season, and the Saints start losing games because of focus. That's pretty much what it is. They start doing so well, and then they'll have key letdowns against divisional rivals like the Falcons or somebody that should be like the 49ers. You know, you got to do that. And then that's when the coaching surfaces, when you count on good strategic and sound play calling to pull you through tough ones. You know, sometimes you might be wanting, especially when you're against veteran coaches that have the discipline to stick to the run and play defense.
True, Q. I agree with you, but this is where I have to get off the bus with you. Sean Payton didn't have that type of mind frame then that he has now.
Right.
He been running the balls, spread the web. Like you said, Q, you get a catch, you get a catch, you get a catch. You had Jenkins coming out there. He was slow as molasses on third day of Christmas, but he could get out there and catch 1 or 2 passes a game and keep a drive going. Right. I mean, I told you, Taysom Hill was gonna fool out and get popped one day. When he took that lick, you didn't see him in the game no more. I knew it was coming, Q. I kept looking for it. I wasn't hoping he would get hurt, but sooner or later, I knew he was gonna get his bell rolled. It just kept playing. You keep playing with 5Q, you're gonna get burned. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, he did. He most certainly disappeared in that one, and and I'm anticipating him coming back in the upcoming matchup and give a good production, because with Mike Thomas not being there, the Saints most certainly need Taysom Hill to perform. They need all their wide receivers to step up and play. They need all of them to step up and play.
Period like this. You know, to be cute, I believe the blame at Sean Payton's feet for the offense, but really overall, but this is the offense, because he's the offensive coordinator. He calls the play, and Dennis Allen. When you knew your passing attack was struggling like that, you should have put more in there. You should have gave the ball to Montgomery. You should have did everything you could to try to establish the running game. I don't care if you were getting 2 yards a pop. You should have kept trying to do it, because guess what? That was keeping.
I mean, like I keep saying, it's a part of it's the running game. Drew's going to win a few games for you this year, but listen, you need the running game. You want the best of the Saints, you got to give them a running game, and that has to be what you lead off with. That has to be the dominant thing. I know we're not used to seeing that because of all these years we've seen Drew Brees run a team, but listen, that's what you get when you get a 40-plus-year-old quarterback. I mean, you have to be able to bring the running game, and that's why Sean Payton, I want to say, has 4 active running backs, because he deep down in his heart of hearts, he wants to use the running attack, but it just hadn't translated yet. Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line?
Hey, Q, this is Dalcam 28 David, man. How you doing?
What's up, Delcam? How you doing, brother? Been a minute.
Yeah, man. Working hard, man, but I've definitely been staying on your channel, man, trying to stay up to date, you know.
Well, I appreciate the support, my brother. We got the historian right ahead of you, bro. As soon as the historian finishes his commentary, I'm going to put you right on in there.
No problem, man.
Thank you, brother. All right, Brother Paul, coming back to you, bro.
Yes, sir. You know, and one of the two gonna have to go next year, Q. All right, you just gave Kamara $75 million. You gonna keep paying Murray $16 million and just ride the pine every now and then? No, I can't see that happening. What you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to see in that, especially with this upcoming year. Maybe that's why they have Tony Jones Jr. here. They're gonna have to definitely get cheaper backs and They're dealing with the compressed salary cap coming up next year. They have estimations have the Saints $20 to $30 million over, so they have to some kind of way they're gonna have to cut that down some. So
Clapp gonna have to get the clap on that contract. He's gonna have to take a pay cut. They're gonna put him on the streets, Q.
I think he's not making a lot of money anyway. He's making like undrafted guy money. He's not making top-notch salary, but
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
you think
Andy's gonna have to be on the block.
Well, they're gonna definitely knock off some annual money in terms of a salary bonus. They're gonna cut him a check and free up some of that money, and some guys are gonna be cut. You can look at guys like Nick Easton, and then the Saints, of course, can address the needs like they customarily do through the draft and the undrafted aspect of the process. So, I mean, you're absolutely right on that.
That was Nick Easton. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought with that. But Sean Payton do that every week. it just don't make no sense Q to keep digressing like that. I mean, you got to use his grip on the game, and it's just like I said, it's like Grandpa trying to drive and he can't see. I mean, you got to take the keys. I mean, somebody, it's go, Q. Sean Payton and Dennis Allen gonna have a come to Jesus moment with Gail Benson at some time. I mean, it's just like it's long overdue. They need to sit down and talk about some things. I don't care if she don't know no football. Bring somebody in there that knows. When they played the Super Bowl, you know who they got to give the halftime speech? They went and got Ronnie Lott. He talked to him and got him hyped up. It's cause they ain't got no saint ties. Q, that don't make no difference to me. If the man know what he's talking about, then listen to him.
Sound about right.
And that's what P.J. Williams and Marcus need to do. They need to go dig up some of the Ronnie Lott tapes and Dizzy Waymer and learn how to hit and get some terrorists, give the cheap by Thunderbird to get some terrorists around here. It's ridiculous, Gil.
Man, yeah, it's
I'm driving to drinking. I'm glad I'm not driving. We ran out Anaheim.
Well, I tell you what, things are pretty rough when you got to break out the Thunderbird. I tell you that much. That's pretty tough right there, brother Paul.
Then you got to get some water to strain it. That's what Sean Payton doing this offer. He keeps straining it. I saw, you know what? Yeah, I don't know nobody else knows this, and I'm gonna be brief, man. With Brees see the team when it's behind, when he get out there and he getting that rush and that pressure on him, he like a deer in headlights. It's like he just about to panic at any second. I mean, don't keep rushing yourself. Take your time. Q, the very thing the Saints should have did to the Raiders, like you said it, they did to us. I don't know why. What flipped in Sean Payton's mind to make him think that, okay, so it wasn't Tom Brady. You're not trying to do I do Bruce Arians, not division opponent. Oh, so we don't have to do what we did. Okay, that was real smart. That makes a lot of sense, don't it, Q?
Yeah, make as much sense as tongue kissing the skunk. I mean, the reality is, I just don't, Brother Paul. I just see, it's Sean Payton has a little too much freedom, man, and that's what I've been saying,
and that's
man.
The bottom line.
He got too much freedom.
Get around that,
right? And some that's good for some coaches because they thrive in that type of environment. But Sean Payton, you got to understand, he came up with he's sleeping in the office of Gruden's office, and he came up and he got an authoritarian mindset, man. And that's somebody that ain't never had that they ain't used to having nothing. It's mine. You don't have to act like that. And he feels threatened when people offer opinions that's not in line with his. That shows that shows a lot of immaturity as a 50-plus-year-old man, and you having issues dealing with reporters asking you questions pertaining to your roster, and you getting pissy with them. I mean, that's
you don't know how to let stuff go, Q. I know you got suspended by the league for all that Biden crap. I think Greg Williams should have been the one got suspended, and maybe, a few games for the coach, but, that was just excessive. I know your wife left you and all that, but that's beside the point. Hey, he need to get a reality check, Q.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot better in that space right now. He got a lady with him now, and things is on the upswing with him. He just,
the Eagle need to stir that nest.
It's just that's the part of it. Like I said, from a workplace environment, they need another person above him. And I know the only guy I could say that probably knows the system like that is Jeff Ireland. But Jeff Ireland would not dare challenge him in that capacity because if I would say it'd be problematic because Mickey Loomis has Sean Payton's there more than I would say Jeff Ireland does. And so I mean, and plus on top of that, Ireland wouldn't challenge him that way because they just promoted the other guy to the same position that he is. So I mean, the reality is at the end of the day is that's my little problem I have with Sean Payton. Besides his arrogance, is the fact that he goes unabated and unchecked, and it shows in his play calling. You should be able to be called out. Why are you fussing at them and you all mad at them when you the one that's responsible for the loss? How are you upset and mad?
Why are you fussing at the reporter?
Why you fussing? Right.
You fuss at the players as much as he tried to get on the referee. They kept throwing flags left and right. When you see it going down here, Q and snowball, you need to leave that alone. What you think?
Well, he fussing late. That's number one. Why he ain't fussed like that at halftime? Maybe
There
if you'd
you
have
go.
fussed like that at halftime and threw some fire extinguishers like he did before, perhaps he would have woke the team up out from the sleepwalking they were doing, and maybe that would have gave them just enough of a emotional edge to push the game over, because they were flat. They came out flat. The offense stunk. The defense stayed on the field, and they didn't even stick to the double team. They double teamed them, then went away from the double team. Derek Carr found them, went to him, and kept it going.
They took
So I mean,
Mario Davis off Waller. Sure did.
So-
Even though he was wearing Demario out though. I never seen Demario out. I know he's in good shape. Q. He was huffing and puffing.
yeah.
Jenkins was huffing and puffing. They got wore out. Q.
Right, and the issue is too, and I said it early in the show. I said it last show at TSC Q&A on Patreon. I said it then. I said the Saints noticed they got fired. The offense woke up in the 2-minute offense and scored at the back end of the game. Why didn't you use that same? Why didn't you use the 2-minute offense to spark the offense when you see them kicking in the neutral? Use it in style football from the Saints, moves that they don't traditionally or customarily do. But the reality is that we still watching preseason football, and you won't be out of preseason football for another 2 weeks. This is preseason. This is preseason, regular season football. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, but I would feel a little better with this game with the Detroit Lions or the Cincinnati Bengals. But guess what? You still got to play the 49ers. You still got to play the Chiefs. You still got to play them dirty Vikings and then the dirty Birds. You know, it's just Sean Payton's mental capacity is getting bad. As when you had Jim Mora, Jim Miller, and Bill Harris, the three-headed monsters on the front office. You saw how good that turned out.
Right. You're absolutely right. The historian bringing a record around. You're right.
The coach don't need to be having that but control, Q, because you get out of control. And you just like, you're like a car that's just on the highway that's going crazy, and somebody got to shoot the tires and put it down.
Right.
Like the old horse. Your horse break your leg, you got to shoot him.
And turn them into glue.
I could test that play card. You know what? I know Sharp ain't wear glasses, but I think he needs a new prescription card. Whatever he's seeing on that blackboard ain't manifesting out on that field. What you think?
Yeah, it will. No, it's not. Sure not, brother Paul. They having issues. It's a disconnection there. But that's why I say as a part of the system. The Saints have a short week. They start back Thursday. They'll practice Thursday, Friday, and they'll do what they do on Saturday, leading up to Sunday afternoon's matchup with Green Bay. This will be a quick week for the Saints, and you'll start seeing a lot better.
Give guys 2 days off. That was stupid. That ain't Super Bowl mentality. What you think?
I wouldn't have done it, but he gave. I'm surprised by that because I understood that you would give him Tuesday off for the obvious reason. But Wednesday, in my opinion, should be a practice day. But this is a veteran team. It feels like they got the message. So if that's the case, we'll see. We'll see if that's right or wrong. But the extra day most certainly will help out Davenport because the big questions I have going, and of course we'll switch coming up Thursday and Friday to Green Bay and going over to Green Bay's Packer teams. Usually Fridays is when I do the Green Bay Packer breakdown. I go over their skilled players, give you the statistics. We go over their entire depth chart. That's usually our Friday show. But Thursday, we start leaning in that direction as we move past the Raiders matchup. We start focusing on the next matchup, which is Green Bay. So we'll do that. Part of that tomorrow, and Friday will be the full breakdown on the team. And of course, Sunday, TSC virtual tailgate will be 2 hours before the game. So we should be fired up around about 5 o'clock, perhaps 4:30, 5 o'clock, between 4:30 and 5 o'clock virtual TSC virtual tailgate pregame. And then the recap after the game will be around for a couple hours too, as we recap the Green Bay Packers a loss to the Saints. So I'm already putting it out there. So I mean,
I hope so, Cuba. We got to get Swearer back in there. Marcus Williams just, ooh Lord, he's just like being on X-Lax. He keeps letting it run.
Yeah, well, I hope it. All Dow wishes the running game. I hope the running game catch it. That's all I'm saying. Let the running game catch it. Let the running game get some of that X-Lax, man. I mean, because they constipated right now.
When the last time you see the Saints safety getting drugged? Now, that's ridiculous. That tackling was terrible.
He got to get better, man. He's a big part of it. He's a big part of it. But that's why I said the pressure.
We keep coming at it. We keep saying it. I don't know why they decided something. They said, they ain't going to throw the Marcus. They ain't going to throw the PJ. Keep on thinking that. Keep on thinking that.
Right. They're going to go to him every time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. you know, and Aaron Rodgers, you know, he knows just as much football as Drew Brees. He gonna work that. They're gonna watch him go after Malcolm Jenkins. Once you had a bad game cue like that, the next team just licking their chops. Cause guess what? They can't wait to do it to you again. What you think?
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. They're gonna study that Raider tape and try to emulate what they did.
That's what I hope so. Ain't that naive to think that's not gonna happen. But like you said, the same thing the Raiders did. Don't you think that Green Bay ain't gonna try to do the same kind of stuff?
Absolutely. You're right. Well, Brother Paul, I appreciate you, man. Dropping that great knowledge, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Right,
and who that to you? That's Uncle Paulie, the historian, chiming in, dropping that knowledge. Always good to hear from. We got Brother Delcom on the line. What's going on, Brother Delcom? The phone is clear for you, my brother.
Nothing much, man. This is great to be back on the line, man. I'm just gonna keep it short and simple. Q. Of course, you know the game Monday night was very disappointing. And I just gotta point out some key points, which I'm pretty sure all the Saints fan knows. Granted, you know the big discussion is about Brees and, you know, as far as like his arm strength and everything else like that. Of course, he's 41 years old, so I don't expect his arm to be as strong. But I think the problem is that it's not the fact that him not getting the ball to the receivers. It's the fact that Sean Payton is not calling for like the deep routes, the deep balls. I feel that what's the point in having a fast receiver like Harris or Sanders, or even when we had Ginn? Michael Thomas had so many catches because Brees was throwing under. If you look at the stats for Ginn and Thomas, the numbers are crazy. Ginn didn't even really have any yardage like that because Brees, of course, is not throwing deep. He's a deep route runner. And I feel like if we definitely need to run the ball more. But my thing is, if we start running the ball more, and when it's time for the play action, can we get the ball down the field doing the play action? If we can't, what's the point of trying to set the play action up? You have to throw deep. Mm-hmm. So I think once you know, I know they're gonna clean everything up. I'm not worried about that. As far as the defense and the penalties, I know they're gonna clean that up. I like our defense. I like who we got back there. I know these guys down the stretch, we're gonna be straight. We're gonna be fine. One thing I'm just concerned about is that I don't know what's up with Zach Bond. I don't know what's going on with him. You know, I don't even know why he's not even on. I would assume they would have had him either playing at a defensive end or linebacker or something. But I'm just curious on what's going on with him. But you know, to all my brothers and sisters out there, we're gonna be all right. But it is frustrating to the point of like these defenses, they're pretty much daring us to throw deep down the field. 2008, maybe 2009, how we used to run the spread where we had like our receivers just spread out. Now you got to cover everybody one-on-one. Right. Now, at some point, it's like we don't even run that no more. We really don't run that anymore. You can't cover everybody. So I feel that when it's time to take a deep shot down the field, I feel like one or two things are going to happen. Either that receiver is going to beat that corner and make the play, or number two, either it's going to be a pass interference on the corner. And 70% of the time, it ends up with being a pass interference. I'd rather take a shot down the field and know that the ref's going to throw that flag because they good for throwing flags, which they might have something against us because, you know, the refs don't like us. So, you know. But anyway, I'd rather at some point, we need to start taking shots down the field to our fast receivers because I honestly believe if you get Harris on a just go route, you just go. I don't see no corners keeping up with him. I really don't. One move, one niche move and go, he's gone. You just got to get the ball out there. So, I mean, you know, like I said, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I just hope that I know we're gonna clean things up, but this game coming up Sunday is gonna be a a test. So we definitely got to get this thing together. And another thing too is like, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm kind of getting tired not getting past the 50-yard line when we, this 3 and out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why the defense be breaking down, because they can't stay off the field. So with that, and also when we get in the red zone, that's that's what really frustrates me. When we get in the red zone, we can move the ball all the way down the field fine, but as soon as we get in the red zone, it's hard for us to get in the end zone. I just don't. It's frustrating, and that's because they refuse to run the ball. So I don't know, man. Like I said, that's all I got.
Well, Delcom, bro, I tell you one thing, man. A lot of great points, man. What's really interesting is the fact that you're right. We need that run attack. Them throwing the ball. I watched the footage from the first game and the second game. They are throwing the ball down the field. They are pushing it 30 plus yards. There were a few overthrown plays. There was a couple of plays where Drew should have. He found Traquan Smith when he should have found Taysom Hill, because Taysom Hill had his man beat. Drew didn't see it.
Yep.
And
he sure did.
That's several opportunities we've blown like that. When you go back and look at the tape, Drew Brees will memorize that, and he will address that in the next game, because it's not like the Saints didn't have the opportunities to score. They had them. A few of them they missed. Like he had a pretty good pass he threw out there to Jared Cook, but overthrew him. So I expect the accuracy issues to iron themselves out. I'm not really. I'm hopeful that Payton find his running gene and decides to open up the running attack, because you're not going to win or have a deep playoff run without the running game. You can't do it like you did it the last several years, which is to put Drew Brees in a situation where he's the man. You'll win 2 or 3 games like that. Well, he'll show up and he'll just be crisp. It's just what he does. You might get 3 or 4 games out of that. But overall, as a season, and it's a long season, you want to rely on the running backs and the offense, your passing attack off of the running attack. And by all means, if your offense is stalling out, how about shifting into a 2-minute offense just to break the stall? Like they did. If you watch toward the end of the game, they went into the 2-minute offense to break themselves out, and it worked. So if you see yourself stalling out, start hitting the opposing defense with the 2-minute offense and keep it going. Force them to call the timeout. Tire them out. And keep running and keep running till you force them to use a timeout to supplement their players. I think that'll be coming. That adjustment will be made. Defensively speaking, the Saints did a pretty decent job in terms of rotating their defensive linemen. I read the article today, and also you can see it on the field, the tape, that the Saints were rotating their offensive linemen, but they still were tired. That just goes to show you that they ate, but that's what happened when they take 13 minutes from you off the time of possession and wear your defense out with 8-9 minute drives.
Oh yeah, man. And another thing too is that, you remember how when Bush came, before Bush actually became the premier back or whatever else like that. Listen, why not just have Murray and Kamara in at the same time? You line Kamara up as a receiver, and then the defense don't really know. Now they automatically know, okay, well, we got to keep our eye on Kamara, but guess what? We're going to feed this rock to Murray and let him pound it right down your throat. Mm-hmm. Put both of them in at the same time.
Why not?
You know what I'm saying? Just try it, because I guess I got real frustrated to the fact that as far as with Brees, because if you look at it, Brees wasn't really under distress. The line was holding up. It's not like he got sacked. He didn't get sacked at all, if my mind serves me correct.
One sack.
Mm-hmm. But other than else, I mean, man, the line was holding up, and like you said, he had a couple of, over the head passes and which that interception that should have never happened. But like you said, what I don't get is they can move the ball in this 2-minute drill and score. They need to apply that in some of these regular plays. Let's just get it down the field and because I mean, right now these defenses, they're not really fearing us as how they used to. They trying to okay, we ain't worried about Drew. We ain't worried about Drew throwing the ball, but they got them 2 safeties back there. But I guarantee you put Taysom Hill in there for a couple plays, they don't know what's going to happen because they know at some possible chance he could throw the ball or he could, run, of course. But, yeah, you're right. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, that's why I was showing. I showed earlier some receipts on the several last regular season starts with the team, and it's basically the same thing. Even more so this year, being that you didn't have actual preseason to kind of at least get the role players up to par. But the in truth of the matter, you had a compressed training camp as well. But that usually will help a veteran team that still has to work to get it, but they wouldn't need a longer curve as most teams do.
Right.
The fundamental pieces, once they just need the rhythm to catch. And it's like I said, I think we've discovered in the Raiders' loss, the Saints discovered something about themselves and what they need to do to break out. And maybe the 2-minute offense needs to be more of a stalwart in the team concept, the base concepts when the offense tends to stall. It helps out with the rhythm. The Saints were able to move the ball and score a touchdown very quickly with the 2-minute offense. And had they had more time up there, they could perhaps gotten a lot closer than what they did. So I mean, the reality is, at the end of the day, I agree with you, Delcom. I think you're absolutely right. We will be fine. It's just week 2. We 1-1. We're still on top of the NFC South. We have a short week. This is a veteran team. They'll be angry against Green Bay, and I would like to have them upset as opposed to coming out of a win where they were supposed to be. Now you have a slap in your face early in the season. You can fire off against Green Bay, the Chargers, whoever else is coming up, and we'll take care of business. Bottom line.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I appreciate it, man. I know you got probably another call or whatever else like that, man. But keep up the good work, man.
I appreciate you, Delcom. Much love to your cousin. Who that?
Who that?
All right, that's Delcom. 28 chiming in. Much love to the family members, and Delcom will be the last caller of the night, Saints family. Man, what a great night of action. Of course, I would be here with another hour with you guys. We can put another, it's already 3 hours already. I would have put another hour and made it 4. But of course, tonight is Ring Kings Boxing. That'll be on Ring Kings Boxing channel, on Ring Kings Boxing World YouTube channel. If you're a fight fan, you can feel free to join me later on tonight. We'll have a Ring Kings Boxing. We'll break down the Charlo brothers matchup coming up this weekend, as both Charlos have really great fights. You have one Charlo taking on. I mean, it's just great fights coming up with those guys. They have a pretty good card, too. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about a little welterweight news with Terrence Bud Crawford. We'll hit you with some of that. And we'll talk about Adrian Broner. What a moron that guy is, but he's looking to get back in there. So we got some latest fight news for Ring Kings Boxing. It'll be a 30, 40-minute telecast with my co-host, Eddie Too Mean Johnson, who is a former boxer himself and trainer. So it's interesting, man, to see it, but understand this, family, that we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. So big ups to the family members. Thank y'all for joining me in this edition. Big ups to him, Kai the Great. Good to see you in the chat. The hopeful elect. Good to see you, family. Big up to you, Collinator. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Kelvin 14, I see you, bro. Good to see you in the chat, family. Big ups to you, Jermaine Scobie. Big ups to you as well. Who else did I miss? Superstar Louisiana boy. Big ups to you as well. Lee, I think I gave Lee a shout out early on. If I didn't, Lee, giving you another one. Hold 'em Hook TV. Who that to your family? Sad Scott, good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to you as well, family. That's who is Patrick Washington Jr. Big ups to you, Pat. Thank you for supporting the stream, my man. Appreciate you. All right, Darrell Freeman, Roy Baker, who that to your family. Good to see Roy in the chat as well. And all the beautiful Black and Gold family members. Big ups to you and yours. I see you, Slick Rick in the building as well. Big ups, family. And I like to give a shout out. Wallace Smith, I see you, Wallace. Who that to your family? Big ups to you. Laughing my you know what off. Who that to you, man? Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you. Ramsey, who that to you? Ramsey, I see you. Big ups to you, Jermaine Dolan. I see Jermaine there. And the rest of the family members. Appreciate y'all chiming in. I want to give a shout out to the callers tonight. We had really great callers tonight. I want to individually give them a shout out. First, I want to start with Tragic 504. Appreciate the Cash App, Tragic 504. Much love to your family. Thank you, bro, for the Cash App. And big ups to the family members with the cash apps and the super chats. Big ups to the family members. Brother Jerry, who that? All right. Also, Brother Byron, who that to you? Brother Gundam, thank you for your call as well. Brother Lance, Brother Tramal, Brother Richard, No Saint, Inevitable, Brother Trail, Brother Paul, Brother Delcom 28, and all the family members. Thank y'all, man, for chiming in today. It was a really great show. 3 hours, just like that. I tell you, when you talking Saint talk, man, it goes fast. Collinator says Tyson versus Jones Jr. That's right. That's right. But it's some issues going on with that right now. That's still up in the air. We covered that several shows ago. That's still up in the air because they want to change the rules on it. And Roy, that's still, I don't know. It's still up in the air. If it doesn't work, I know that Shannon Briggs says that he'll step in for Roy if he can't go against Tyson. And Shannon's a tough dude, man. But I'd like to thank the family members for joining the live stream for this one as we get ready to roll it. And feel free to check out the gear at our merch shops. We got several merch shops located in the chat. You scroll on in the description section. You'll be able to see 2 links that go to the stores. We have several new shirts that release, family. I'm going to see if I can share the screen with you guys to show you that we had 4 new shirts that dropped this morning. 4 new shirts that dropped this morning. Give me a second and I'll pull them up for you and give you a visual of them. Hold on here. Okay, give me just a second here. All right, give me just a second here. And I'll pull them up for you and I'll share my screen with you so y'all can see the new ones that came out. All right, family. And if you want to take a look at them, they're on the community section of the page. Who that to you, T Dirt? I see you, bro. Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat, my boy. T Dirt in the building. Philip, good to see you, Philip. Who that to you as well? Ghost Dad, I see your family. Who that? Big ups to you as well. All right. This is 2 of the shirts, and this is coming up for Cancer Awareness Month for the family members that had family members or relatives or family friends that were affected by cancer. My grandfather passed away because of it. He had lung cancer. So it's close to a lot of family members, but we have 2 new shirts. Beat That and Heal That. Beat That and Heal That. You can go to our community section of the page, take a look at them, and to check them out for yourself. The listings are there, so you can go in. They come in different colors. They come in white, black, and of course pink. You can feel free to take a look at them. Our new cancer collection, shirts promoting, and a shout out to all of the family members that dealt with cancer or had family members that dealt with cancer for Cancer Awareness Month coming up. Beat That and Heal That, man. That's fresh. So that is at the pro shops as well. Or you can go to the community section link and find them for yourselves. There's links there above the pictures. And also just to let the family members know, also another shirt and 2 other shirts that is available is the new shirt here. Who That Nation, the refs aren't your friends. As you can see, Who That Nation, the refs aren't your friends. That comes in black, white, blue, several colors. It's a new gear that's out by the Pro Apparel. We dropping them, and we consistently bring out new gear. The Who That Nation, the refs aren't your friends. Of course, we still have Hey Ref You Suck. We have the Hey Ref You Suck shirt. We have the Chump Missioner tees about Roger Goodell's stupid face circled around a cartoon image of his face with the word chump circling around it. That's at the pro shop. So that line of Hey Ref You Suck, Who That Nation, the ref aren't your friends, and the Chump Missioner tees are available at the pro shop. And finally, the shirt Win the Playoffs. As you can see, it comes in white, black, and several different colors, sizes, for the women, for the children as well. Win the Playoffs. Win the Playoffs shirt is now available as well. So as you see, win the playoffs, Who That Nation, the ref aren't your friends, and of course our new Cancer Awareness tees. Beat That and Heal That. Beat That. That's real fly, man. So that's 2 of the shirts and things that's available at the pro shop right now, so you can feel free to check that out. Also, to let the family members know about Pro Radio, of course, you can go to Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma, Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma to get information about Pro Radio. You can simply sign up there and understand and know that Pro Radio is everywhere. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple and Google Podcasts, and several other really mainstream operations that Pro Radio is a part of. Well over 70,000 downloads and counting on Pro Radio. So you want to check out the audio versions of the Sports Coma, Pelican Post Game Report, Ring Kings Boxing World, and Tough Tiger Talk. Feel free to go to Pro Radio. Link is in the description section below. And also, if you enjoyed the show, feel free to join the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. There, you sign up there, $1, $5, $10, $20, or whatever's in your heart to give, and you'll have access to locked content. We do TSC Q&A live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. That show will be available to you once you sign up. And also, we just dropped at 5 o'clock the new edition of On Cue with Big Q. 10 plus shows on Cue with Big Q. We talk about that real. We just dropped one at 5 o'clock on Patreon for our Patreon champions to check out the On Cue with Big Q. Breaking down some stuff, man. I'm telling you, a couple of clips on there. It's a real fire show. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. We keep it real on Cue with Big Q. That's available to our Patreon members, and also our YouTube, our Patreon champions, our YouTube members can also access the TSC Q&A live, but not the On Cue with Big Q. That's strictly for our Patreon champions, just to let you know. And then, of course, big ups to our sponsors, GetLifeMask.com, GetLifeMask.com, GetLifeMask.com. Saints, Pelicans, LSU, they have other masks as well, but these masks, LSU, Saints, and Pelicans masks, or if you're a fan of these teams, you can feel free to get GetLifeMask.com masks. You can get 10% off with the code The Sports Coma. 10% off, make it light in your pocket. But what's special about these masks is that they actually have a filter that's located. It's the PM 2.5 filter that slides in behind the nose clip, and that filter actually filters the air, and that filter's good for 3 months. So if you want to get a mask that actually works, go to GetLifeMask.com and breathe easy, and let your wallet breathe even easier with the product code The Sports Coma. Knock 10% off of that thing for you. All right, once again, thanks to family members. Verlin, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to the family members and the rest of the family members. Once again, thank y'all. Kev Lynn, who that to you, fam? Appreciate you for joining us in the stream. Big ups to you. Lori, good to see Lori. Lori Hackler, good to see you, Lori. Big ups to your family. Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups. And just to let the family members know, Kenny Sutton, I see you, Kenny. We will return tomorrow on TSC Thursday edition. We'll have some interviews. We'll have some analysis on the Saints practice. We'll have see what Davenport, Ruiz, the latest on them. We'll play interviews as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Saints tomorrow on TSC Thursday. So much love to the family members. Much love to you. Y'all be cool out there. Be safe. Keep your eyes open. Stay prayed up. And I'll see y'all later. Peace out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.